And we are live, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. This is Dominic Sinclair channel, but we also have a very, very, very special guest and older brother of the hooligan of hooligan trio, and we got him in the building, and that is our good friend and good brother Marcus, aka I shot him 6 times, is in the building. What's up, Marcus? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just hanging out, you know what I mean? Just got done with a nice little 2.5 hour nugget live stream with myself. So I'm just kind of feeling in the mood to keep the party going a little bit.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I just when I heard the news, or I heard the calling for a live stream, and I was like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. And
Yeah,
just
why not? You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
hang out for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's still the night's still young. It's still what I say 10. It's about to be 10 o'clock my time, and it's about to be what 7 your time. So
yeah. So yeah. So since we're just chilling and hanging out and talking about mostly just horror, movies and just other stuff as well. Um, Is there anything on your mind that comes to you right now when it comes to wanting to talk about something in terms of just like news or anything on your mind?
oh man, we could talk about whatever, man. I mean, as you know, we got Know What You Did Last Summer coming out next week. I seen there's they have the Return to Dairy. At Max
Mhm.
posted, I guess, a month that they're going to be releasing that. So that's going to be released in October. We have The Strangers too. We have a lot of stuff, that we can decide to talk about and stuff like that. Right now, obviously, the hot topic is I Know What You Did Last Summer, but we can mix a little bit of everything. I mean, Scream
Mhm.
7 and stuff like that. I actually have an interesting video coming out in regards to that this upcoming week and stuff like that. So we could talk about whatever, man.
Cool, cool, yeah. I like to definitely want to start off with the upcoming Godzilla movies that are coming out. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, this guy, he's all about the Godzilla on the channel." I get it, I get it,
Hey, there's
but
nothing wrong with that though. That's what piques your interest. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with talking about it.
yeah, yeah. I just feel like, because a lot of people don't really talk about Godzilla in the community, that I feel like I should bring it to the table and talk about it a little more and watch the movies with you guys a little bit more, so you guys can have some fun while watching it. And so far, you guys are having fun watching these movies, so that's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. For the most part, they've been fairly solid. A lot more solid than what I thought they would be. Going into it because I'm not really into that style of film and stuff, but it's actually fairly watchable. You know what I mean and stuff. I see why it has a fan base that it does, and you know it's one way or another, even though it's not like the type of horror movie that I, would like to watch and stuff like that. It
Mhm.
has its own horror aspect to it. You know what I mean? Imagine seeing a fucking 12-foot tall, over how many tons lizard fucking roaming the streets of your city, crushing every building in sight. That type of catastrophe. You know what I mean? And stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it definitely has its own spooky element to it. And for the most part, the ones that we watch, especially, actually have been pretty good, like in terms of the characters and the dialogue and stuff. Even the last one, you know, I mean, you had subtitles and stuff like that, but it wasn't like you wasn't like in tune with the dialogue or nothing like that. Like you understood the dialogue, you understood what was happening, so on and so forth. And yeah, they're fun times, man, for sure. Like I think I understand why they have a fan base.
Right, right.
Oh,
uh we got Katie in the chat, aka popping the popcorn. What's up? Yeah, what's up, Katie?
what's going on, Katie? Hope you're having a great night, girl.
Hey. And we have uh we have Val in the chat, the general. She says, always waiting on Ghosty.
You know it. You know it. It's just like a common thread. I'm trying to clean it up, but this has been like an on and off thing for the most part for 3 years. So I don't know. I'm trying, Val. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Hey, give me some credit. Because even though I switched the stream earlier from 4 o'clock to basically 5 and then 5:15, when it was stuck at 5:15, I went live at 5:15. And stuff. So we're making progress.
Hell yeah. Um, we got let's see who else. Scrolling. Oh, haven't seen this guy in a while in the chat. We got Flex Movies Pop Culture, aka Kyle, saying, "Hey, what's up, Dominic, Marcus, and everyone? What's up,
What's
Kyle? What's
up?
going on?"
Hope you're having a good night, Kyle. Good to see you.
Yeah, and let's see who else. Oh, Val mentioned something about Camp Crystal Lake is coming out soon too. I hope so. What are your thoughts on Camp Crystal Lake, man? Because I saw the images of Pamela and some of the set designs and all that, and it looks like they're taking it back to the 50s.
Listen, when I've done my little spew, I've mentioned it on live streams vaguely and stuff, and I'm actually going to put a video for that together as well. And that's well, I'm glad you mentioned about this, these photos that have coming out and stuff like that, because when me and Destin were talking about a couple days ago, we were both trying to find them, and we couldn't find those photos, so we thought it was a rib. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. But now that you said that they are out there and they're in the ether, I definitely want to do a video about that. But that's honestly, Dom, what I thought was going to happen. For the simple fact is, Linda Cardellini looks fantastic. She's going to be 50, but she looks like she could be in her mid 30s or at least early 40s. And if you're going to take it back to, let's say, the mid 50s, right?
Yeah,
Pamela was 50 years old in the original 1980 film. So if you take it back, let's just say even to 55 or whatnot, that's 15 years off. That means Pamela would be 35 years old.
right.
So, and I think they can pull it off with Linda Cardellini. Again, she looks fantastic. She still looks young and stuff. So this is not really a surprise to me. And I think that this is the right move and stuff, because there is stuff to build around there. I mean, think about it. The first kill took place a year after Jason was, when he drowned.
Right.
You know, Now the interesting thing is if they do set it in 55, that's before Jason drowns. So the question is if they are taking it back to the 50s, what year exactly in the 50s are we going to be set in? Are we going to get it? Maybe a little bit of a time lapse between Jason, drowning, and maybe seeing the before events of that, like getting some relationship, getting to see the relationship between Pamela and Jason that we really didn't get to see before. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I think that's the big thing is if it's set in the 50s, what year exactly will it be before Jason drowns, after, or are they going to kind of do like an in-between thing?
Yeah, I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna start from the beginning, and they're gonna start before Jason drowns, before Pamela starts her killing spree. Um, I think we're gonna get backstory on Pamela and Jason, how they came to be as characters, and it'll be interesting to see how capable Jason was when he was younger, because we
Right.
all assumed that Jason was fully a mentally challenged, young, kid. Um, I don't think that he was that mentally challenged. I think he had problems, but I think that he has some sort of intelligence to him that he has that like it kind of like what you call it it's kind of go unnoticed, like they don't see
Okay.
the potential in Jason they just see the look of him and his and some
Right.
of his abilities that he's not really good at performing, like swimming or like or whatever we're gonna find out in the show. So stuff like that, I think he's very underlooked as a character, and I think because when we see him as a killer, he's pretty smart. He's a pretty smart killer.
Yeah, he is.
So
Yeah, you make a great point because he definitely is a smart killer and stuff. And I can agree that they're probably going to give some type of backstory to where we see more, we see more layers to Jason. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. We get to know Jason as a kid a little bit more, and
mhm,
Pamela as a parent a little bit more as well. And I'm all here for it, man. Now,
yeah,
I think the big question is, I'm going to mention this in my video, but I think the big question is, we know we're most likely going to possibly get Pamela and Jason. Are they going to add the aspect that Jason Goes to Hell added with his sister and all that stuff? You know, I personally, and I know you love that movie, Dom, but I personally hope they don't. And stuff, I hope they leave that alone. And the only reason why I say that is because when Jason Goes to Hell did that, for me, it was just confusing as to, okay, so now we find out Jason has a sister, but yet through all these movies, that was never implied, none of that. And plus, in the original, Pamela admitted that Jason was her only child. Now, you can maybe make the argument, you know what I mean, that Diana wasn't Pamela's daughter and Jason's dad had her to somebody else. You know what I mean? But we never really know because we only know Pamela as a parent. We don't know his dad. That's another interesting thing. I think that a lot of people aren't mentioning is, will we see Jason's father with Pamela in this TV show? You know, like,
mhm,
I kind of hope they do something like that, man, because I feel like there's a place for it. Just you don't even have to have him be a main character. Just show a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe show him and Pamela having a falling out, and maybe she kills him. You know what I mean? Maybe that was like her first kill, her first real kill. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Or he decides to leave or something like that. But I think that that's something that really goes overlooked is, because all the hype, Jason and Pamela, because those are the two main cogs of the franchise in terms of villains and stuff. But I think an interesting avenue to take would be to incorporate a father figure or his actual dad. And again, I hope they don't add the whole Diana Kimball stuff or whatnot. I personally, like the original idea. But just in case they were to do that, then in my opinion, you would have to have the father present to some capacity to explain that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm just happy that we're getting some fucking Jason back, man. Like, oh, what?
It's
16
been
years since the last movie?
16, 17 years almost.
Yeah. And I,
So
I know they're doing a short film too, Horror Inc., and somebody's doing that. And they're, I guess, putting it on the big screen. But no offense to that project, it's not going to be like what Crystal Lake is going to be, what Crystal Lake can be, which could potentially lead us to a full length movie on the big screen even sooner.
right, right. And we do have another person in the chat. We got Shannon talking Star Wars. There's my favorite ding dongs.
What's
What's
up,
going
Shannon?
on? It's nice to see you. And let's see who else is here. Uh, we got King Matthew. He stopped by in the chat saying, "What's up, Dom and Marcus? I'm watching the stream from work because I'm at work, but I wanted to support the stream. Hey, you're always welcome here, King Matthew, and thank you for supporting the stream and supporting the channel, and not just my channel, supporting Marcus's channel and Destin's channel, and showing up every
Right.
time, man. That means a lot. You don't like it's you don't have to like donate or none of that. Like you showing up to the chat and hanging out and hitting the like button and showing support and doing all that stuff, that really helps the channel a lot. It
Hell
does
yeah,
really
it
help with
does.
that.
It helps grow the communities.
Hell yeah. So let's see here. So yeah, I just want to say too that in terms of Jason, I mean in terms of Crystal Lake, the show, if we do see Jason's father, which he was named in Jason Goes to Hell, his name is Elias Voorhees.
Hmm.
So if we get to see Elias Voorhees maybe messing with another woman and she gets pregnant and Pamela gets mad at Elias and maybe he kills him, but she doesn't know that that woman's pregnant and that woman goes on, has Diana and is somewhere maybe near Crystal Lake or whatever, and she doesn't know about it. So that's why she says Jason's my only child, Jason's my only son,
Right.
because
Right.
she never knew about the other child until we see her in Jason Goes to Hell being a worker at the diner
Right.
when she's older. And so I don't mind the
Uh,
I don't mind the whole Diana Kimball, Elias Voorhees showing up in the show because that then it will make sense. Now you're tying in Jason Goes to Hell, but in a way where it makes sense. So then people will go back and watch that movie and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
right.
That's why Diana's there, and that's why she's this and that.
Hey,
So yeah,
I'm not against that at all. It's just what my big thing is too. We got to bring this up. Don't bring the Book of Necronomicon into it. That's
okay,
it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
to me, knowing how Jason comes back from the dead is kind of like Michael, like with his strength and his durability and his power. Like, I don't want to know. I want that to
yeah,
still be a mystery. You know what I mean? Because that adds to the mystique of the killer and stuff like that. And I enjoy knowing that, hey, was Jason out there this whole time just fucking feasting off animals or something and growing with each passing, like, or is he already a zombie before they officially dub him Zombie Jason? Like, I like having those thoughts and not really knowing and stuff
mhm,
like that. So I think that's what they are going back to. I think they're going back to more of what we saw in 1980 and what we heard in 1980 and stuff like that. And then we're going to transcend even more so from there and stuff like that. We know that they brought back the cop character in the original 1980 movie, but obviously he's going to be played by a different character and he's going to be younger, obviously, and
mhm.
stuff like that. So it definitely does seem like they're going to be basing this TV show anywhere between right before Jason drowns, maybe directly after he drowns, and then proceed to move it forward
Yeah,
and stuff. And I'm all here for it, man. I think the guy they got show running it, I've seen some of his projects that he's done and stuff, and he's very, very good. So I'm really excited. I think they might have something special in their hands if they just, if they keep the nuances from the movie while also adding their own flavor to it. I think it could be something, man. Like, I really do. I'm glad that we're finally getting some fresh stuff, like some new Friday the 13th material.
yeah, and so yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent because I do like Jason Goes to Hell,
I know,
and I
man.
like
I know. Sorry. I
um
just
it
It's all right. It's not as bad. I want to say it's not as bad as everybody cracks it up to be because I understand why they give it the shits and stuff. I still can watch it. You know what I mean? It's a Jason movie. It's just a different type of Jason movie. That's all. You know what I mean? And stuff. I just don't want certain things that were in that movie to basically be put into this TV show if it's not going to make sense and stuff. But it's worth mentioning because that is a connective tissue what they did in Jason Goes to Hell. You know what I mean? With his sister and having extended family and stuff like that. So that needed to be mentioned. And we'll see what they do.
Yeah. And King Matthew says they only brought the Necronomicon and Jason Goes to Hell because they wanted to set up Ash being in Freddy versus Jason, from what I read, but it didn't work out, which was good. Well, let me tell you something real quick. So they actually it was the plan to set up Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from the very beginning when they put that book in that movie. So after Freddy versus Jason, they were supposed to do Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, but then they canceled the movie production because of issues with who was gonna win this time. Is it gonna be Jason, Freddy, or Ash? New Line did not want Freddy to lose again, so they were like, "Scrap that. We're not gonna go that direction anymore. We don't want to see our boy lose." The guy who built New Line Cinema. So
Right.
they did a comic book instead called Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. And in that comic book, it continues that storyline from Freddy versus Jason with Lori. I think that's her name, right? Lori,
Yep.
our main final
Yep.
girl.
Yep.
So they continue that story with her, and we find out what happens with her and her boyfriend, her love interest, I would say. And then we continue, and then we bring Ash involved into it, and then Ash is involved, and the Necronomicon is tied to Jason, and it's tied to Freddy in a way because Freddy is a dream demon and all that. So it's a whole thing you can read on
Right. No,
YouTube and
it's
stuff like
basically they're
that.
trying to tie in those characters to Evil Dead as well.
Yeah,
Like they're like a form of Deadites.
yeah,
I'm so glad that didn't happen. I'm sorry, Dom, but I'm sorry because to me that's a mismatch. I mean, I stopped watching the Bruce Campbell Evil Deads after the second one. I watched Army of Darkness. I know a lot of people love it. I can't do it. I just can't. And I just feel like that is a total mismatch. Those fucking guys would beat the shit out of Ash. I get it. You're going to write it to where Ash has some advantages and he'll get his licks in and stuff. But this just for me personally, I wouldn't enjoy that. I probably wouldn't even watch it. You know what I mean? And stuff like, I just, there's certain things for me that I'm really peculiar about in terms of like fucking with the characters and doing things to the characters. And I felt like when they turned Jason zombie, okay, that's the only acceptable way that I'll be okay with knowing exactly what he is because we see how he turned back to how he became a zombie. We saw that and stuff. He was actually dead. He was dead. And then my boy Tommy brought his ass back. You know what I mean? And stuff. But man, I don't like that whole tie into the Evil Dead stuff. Like, let these characters be what they were, which was their own entities and stuff like that. Like, I feel like just doing that just kind of takes the mystique away from them and stuff. Like, let them be their own entities.
yeah, yeah.
That's me, though.
But
That's me.
yeah, yeah. No, I get you, man. Everyone has their own tastes in their own flavors
Right.
and styles and stuff, which is totally cool. Like I understand that, so that's why like I'm still cool with the people that don't like Jason Goes to Hell and are fans of it
Right.
because it's a community thing. We're all in this together, so we
I will
like what
say
we like
this.
and all that stuff.
I will say this, and some people might hate me for saying it. You know what I mean? But I personally feel like how a lot of people felt New Blood's Jason looks cool and the look of him with the spine coming out. I feel the same way about how Jason looks in Jason Goes to Hell. I think that was one of the better costume design. Like I like the whole bubbles forming out of his fucking dome and shit. I do. I like all that extra shit. Like, you know what I mean? I do like that and stuff. Like I would not be against seeing that version of Jason physically and in a costume like that again, because just like Freddy a New Nightmare, it had a fresh look to it added a fresh look to him. Like it would make sense that over the years, especially of drowning and being in that water and being killed off for so many times, that his skin would swell up and his mask would cinch into his face.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I actually enjoyed that. I enjoyed the look at Jason quite a good bit in Jason Goes to Hell.
And I think that you will like the unmasking of Jason from Jason Goes to Hell, because they showed the unmasking in the game and also in actual um, uh, pictures and photos from the set.
Oh,
He has he has a skull on one side, and he has the regular face on the other side with the messed up teeth and all that stuff.
ooh.
But so he's like really messed up. Like he's really messed up to the point where it's like his face caved in and the skin came off, and you see his skull and all that stuff. So
So basically,
it's
it's
pretty
kind of like
brutal.
Harvey Two Face.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
definitely.
pretty badass.
Yeah,
That's pretty badass. I'm gonna end up taking a look at that. Like that sounds like a pretty cool concept. You know, that sounds like some gnarly shit. Because in New Blood, especially when his mask came off, I thought that that was one of the better looking Jasons as well. Like he looked like a creature. He looked like a zombie. You know.
hmm yeah. So according to a comic book, Elias Voorhees oops,
Oh,
didn't mean to do that. Is Jason's stepfather, and Jason's actual dad raped Pam, so we don't know who really is Mr. Voorhees. Some people speculate that it's Freddy
oh
because
shit.
some people speculate it's Freddy because they they say that Jason's deformity and his deformity comes from Freddy's line of and fathers that raped his mother, Amanda Kruger. Because
Oh
in
wow,
the
the
asylum,
1,000 Maniacs.
the Thousand Maniacs. So like the fact that he had the Thousand Maniacs within him, it messed up Jason mentally and physically around his face and made him the way he is. Apparently, this is what people say. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's for that. I would say, I'd rather have Elias be the father, because we get a confirmed thing about that, and then we can add in Diana Kimball if we wanted to and all that stuff. But like we don't have to dive deep into the Jason Goes to Hell lore. All we got to do is just
No,
introduce Elias and Diana a little bit in the show, and then send them on their way. And then we focus more on Pamela and Jason and that storyline with them throughout the main course of that Paramount timeline. So we get that.
right.
Um,
I will ask: is the comic books canon with the movies?
the comic books are. It depends. It's actually
Are
kind of
I would say
tricky
are they
because
considered like are they considered to be canon? Like does Sean S. Cunningham? You know, like I guess what I'm asking is does Sean basically like look at the comics as canon to what he was trying to do with Jason?
no,
Okay.
no,
But
because
still, I
he's
mean, you could
yeah,
still adopt things from the comic books and put them into the movie.
yeah, you can. I just think Sean, he only sees movies as canon because they're movies and stuff, whereas comic
Right.
books are canon in their own way. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. But I wanted to mention this is that I forgot that we were talking a little bit about Godzilla. We got sidetracked to Crystal Lake, which is cool. I like it. But I um I want to talk a little bit about the new Godzilla movies coming out. Godzilla minus two and Godzilla X Kong. Supernova. And these two are coming out around the same time because they're getting made right now. And I want to announce that after we do the Godzilla Final Wars, which is part of the Toho canon or the Toho side of things, which is the original company that makes Godzilla, I want to
Okay.
do a legendary MonsterVerse uh, run through or a marathon, I guess you can say, or something like that.
Okay.
Not like a marathon, like all in one stream, but like one film at a time per stream.
Right.
Just get to that, and then so we can show you, Marcus, like the mainstream Godzilla that is out currently right now, so you get to see what that's going on.
Is
So
that the
yeah,
same Godzilla from Godzilla -1?
no, it's the Godzilla minus one. It's its own thing.
Okay.
So it's its own storyline and its own origin. Godzilla minus two is the sequel to that, and then and Kong. Godzilla and Kong is a sequel to the last Godzilla Kong movie called New Empire.
Okay.
So that's they're different timelines, different movies from different studios, pretty much.
Yeah, basically different entities.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
different entities. Yeah. So we got those coming out, and I do want to catch up with Marcus on those movies, and I just wanted to announce that real quick because um, I know Marcus is enjoying the Godzilla movies a lot. So I wanted to make sure that he gets caught up with the mainstream Godzillas that are coming out. So I just wanted to announce that real quick. But also, in other news as well, there's a Final Destination fan film. It
Oh
came out.
wow.
It came out just a month ago. I didn't know about
Oh
it.
wow. Is it any
So,
good?
oh, it's good. It's good, man. The way they did it was so good. It's like it's pretty much the whole story is like about the girl is about this girl who's on death's list, and she's in her kitchen in her house, and death is trying to get her. So that
I would say you're cutting out a little. Oh, let's say hold on. Hold on. Say that again, buddy. You were cutting out.
um the main story of that fan film um
Uh,
is is about a girl who's on death's list, and death is trying to get her in her kitchen in her house. So
oh,
that's the main story of it.
sounds like some Val Newton shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
man.
real.
For
It's what it
real.
sounds like.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind watching that because that kind of has that old school feel to the original.
Oh yeah,
Well, so
dude.
what
And
is it called exactly? Final Destination what?
it's called Shattered, Final Destination fan film.
Shattered. Okay. Okay. Looking this up now. Okay. Yeah, and it's only 3 minutes long. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that then.
Yeah, dude.
Damn, only 3 minutes.
But it's pretty good, dude. Like for a fan film of Final Destination with a low budget, it's pretty damn good. Uh, so yeah,
Right.
that's one that came
Okay.
out,
Hell yeah,
and
I'm gonna give that a look.
hell yeah, and let's see who we got in the chat. Let's see. King Matthew says, "I did recently watch." Oops,
Hey,
oops, oops.
Am I lagging out, or is it you?
Uh, is it me?
I don't know. It was spinning a little bit on my end. That's why I said that. Like it spun for a second on my end, but then you were lagging up too. Hold on. Let's try now. All right. Seems like we're back. We're back to normal.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, King Matthew says, I did recently watch a Godzilla film called Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was a pretty good film, and it was my first Godzilla film I've ever watched. I may check out Godzilla versus Kong as well. King Matthew, if you want, you can join us. You can join us on the YouTube channel and watch along with us. You know, like in the chat or maybe on the panel. Who knows? But I would say like come join us and watch the film with us throughout this little marathon we're gonna do. Uh, Probably maybe every Tuesday. We'll figure it out for sure. Um,
Oh yeah.
but uh, but yeah, we're definitely gonna watch it. So stay tuned, King Matthew. We got a troll in the chat. What's up, a troll? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
How you doing? And let's see here. Okay, I think I'm caught up. So we got. Let's see. What else do we got? All right. You know what? I know what you did last summer. I know what you did last summer. And Scream crossover. How about that?
I said it earlier on the stream, man. I'm not against it. I mean, that would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I feel it fits into the same universe. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a movie based on two killers that are part of two different franchises, basically teaming up to kill our iconic final girls. But I wouldn't want it to be something where it's like a crossover that's like super cheesy and just for the cash grab. I'd want them to take it seriously, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like, and I think it could be done. I think it would be something interesting, to get Julie James and Sidney Prescott underneath one film, underneath one umbrella. I like that. And it can be done because, like I said, the beautiful thing about these franchises is that our killers are human, and so anybody can don the slicker, anybody can don the Ghostface costume, you know, and stuff. And I wouldn't mind it at all. I wouldn't mind that at all. You just make sure whoever the fuck is doing this are killers on both ends, the Fisher person and Ghostface. Let them be legit, believable, charismatic killers. I mean,
Yeah,
that's all I would ask for that type of crossover, man. Like everything else can handle itself. Now the real question is who do you get to direct it?
I would say
And
Kevin
who do you
Smith,
get to
baby.
write it? You said Kevin Smith. He'd make that shit goofy, bro. I personally I don't know. Didn't he have like a horror movie come out or something a couple years ago?
He
Hold on, you're gonna make me look
it's
for that.
called it's with the mask. It's with the face mask.
Hold on, I'm
It's
looking it up now.
it's called fuck, what was it called?
Holidays?
No, no, it was something else.
Yoga Hoosers?
No, that's Kevin Smith.
Hold on. Yeah, that's what's like showing up when I put it in. Hold on. All right, so he has 4 horror movies. I got him. Um, Kilroy was here, 2022. Is a horror anthology. Yeah, Yoga Hoosers. That was him, 2016. Damn, that shit got a fucking 1 out of 10, bro.
Are you talking about Kevin
It's a
Smith?
horror comedy. Okay. Tusk. He did Tusk. I heard some things about that.
Hold on.
I'm not saying like bad things. I just heard about that.
Okay. I'm talking about Kevin
And
Williamson.
Tusk. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Smith. Yeah, it's the Kevin Smith. Are you talking about Kevin Smith who did Dogma and all that
No,
shit or whatever?
Williamson. Williamson.
Is that who you're talking about? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
No, no,
Oh,
Williamson.
I thought you said Kevin Smith. I, I thought I could have sworn you said Kevin Smith, bro. That was my.
I think we're lagging.
I don't know what the hell happened. It just booted me off.
That's weird.
But anyway, I could have sworn you said Kevin Smith. That was my fault. My apologies.
No, it's all good, man. I
Kevin Williamson? Yeah, because he wrote both movies, so he could do it. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. Sometimes you do kind of forget that he did do I Know What You Did Last Summer, the first one. Yeah, if he's writing it, I'm not saying he shouldn't direct it, but if he's writing it, then yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? I'll say this: let Kevin write it, but let Jim Gillespie direct it.
hmm.
The director for the first I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
don't feel like a lot of people give him credit for his directing chops in that movie. Like a lot of the shots that he got in that movie were really good.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that Wes Craven's not in the picture anymore, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but if we're thinking of a director to direct, um, like I Know What You Did Last Summer Scream crossover, I would say I'm trying to let me think. Let me think, because because I'm thinking because I was gonna say Mike Flanagan, but then I was like, that's a good one, but I would like to see like a maybe like a James Wan or something like that. Maybe a James Wan. I don't know. It really depends on the style of the director, and what they offer to like a series like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. Because I would say probably thinking about like a director, maybe a director that is very similar to the styles of I Knew What You Did Last Summer and Scream. Um, so I don't know who would be best for that. To be honest, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Oh,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know if I would have him do it. I mean, he's not like a bad choice. I just don't know.
mm,
I would want somebody who knows how to capture the feel of both movies. I'd want somebody in the writer's chair who knows how to capture the feel of both movies while writing a compelling story to bring these two together and stuff. And then I want somebody who has the cinematic chops to get good shots, good wide shots and stuff like that. Kind of, great settings, and stuff. That's why I pitched Jim Gillespie because I think in the original I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, he had some really good shots in that movie that nobody really give credit for and stuff like that. And they worked together. Him and Kevin worked together on that movie. And then Kevin being the one to basically bring a Scream, I just feel like that's a perfect blend. But also, I'll say this: let's save that thought for after we see the new "I Know What You Did Last Summer" movie, the new
mm,
one,
mhm.
because I'm not going to lie, in the trailers, it looks like Jennifer has gotten some pretty damn good shots herself. So let's see what her shit looks like. She is the one who pitched that idea. So maybe if she can capture that feel that we're looking for in this movie, maybe she could actually be the one behind the director's chair and Kevin Williamson will be writing and cross these bad boys over.
Hell yeah, I think that would be cool. You know, if we see the I Know What You Did Last Summer, the requel and all that, and we enjoy it for what it is, and we like it. I'm pretty sure we will. But I would say, yeah, man, I definitely like to see them work together for sure again, and or not again because we were talking about Jim Gillespie and Kevin
Yeah.
Williamson working together again. But Jennifer, Jennifer, I would say let's give her a chance.
Yeah.
Let's give her a
Absolutely.
chance. Yeah, and see what's up with that because I think she's making a banger. I Know What She Did Last Summer movie right now. It looks like a banger. I would say
It
that. I don't
does.
know if it's a banger, but it looks like a banger. So I'm just ready for it.
I really hope it lives up to the anticipation, man. I got a feeling it will. You know, I really do. I got this weird feeling that this movie is going to surprise a lot of people and that they're going to live up to what they've been saying in all the hype that yes, we have a ton of surprises for you and stuff like that. Like we have some great twists and stuff like that. So let's hope for it, man. I mean, it's just cool to see the 90s slashers, making a comeback, man. Into
Yeah.
today's modern society in the 2020s and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking the 2020s is gonna be the 90s like flashback era, in my opinion. I think because the last decade it was the 80s. It
Yep.
was all about the 80s.
Yep.
Now in the 2020s we're getting all this 90s flavor in films and pop culture and all that stuff. So i'm
Yep.
i'm i'm excited to see what they got in store for us, especially with the new Urban Legend movie too,
Oh
because that's going
yes.
to be coming out. Yeah, dude. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's going to be interesting. I hope they get Alicia Whip back for that one.
oh yeah, James Gunn. I don't know, man. James Gunn did Slither, but
Hold
that
on, I'm
was
gonna
a
turn up
horror
my
film.
volume real quick, Dom. I'll be back.
Okay. Um, James Gunn. He did Slither, but yeah, he usually does superhero movies. I don't know if he would be a good choice because I haven't seen him do a horror movie in a long time. So I definitely will get back to that because yeah, I don't know if he definitely if he's going to be trying to direct a movie like that. Let me get to you guys' comments because I know it's hard to it's kind of hard to read the comments like this because I'm on my phone. Um, you think it'll be shockingly better than Screen 7? I don't know, man. I don't know. Dude, the hype for Scream 7 is insane, dude. Like there's hype for this movie. I know what you did last summer now, but like there's always been hype for Scream 7 and I think that's going to overtake I know what you did last summer in a way. But we'll have to see. Shannon says, "Surprise vows fisherwoman out to get ghosty if Ray's a fisherman." That'd be crazy, right? Oh my god. Oh
All
my
right, I'm
god,
back.
dude. Oh, welcome back. Uh,
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now.
okay. He says, Shannon says, "Oh no," he said he'll be right back. Run! That's funny.
Hold on. This thing is acting crazy again.
Okay. Key Matthew says Scream 7, in my opinion, may be a nostalgic cash grab. And I'm a big Scream fan, but I know what you did last summer is doing better promoting their film, and it looks better. It looks way better. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they're doing really good at promoting this new I
Oh
Know
yeah.
What You Did Last Summer movie. Um, I just, I come to terms with now, like, with like how like what movies are. Let's talk about this actually, because this is something that's been on my mind for quite some time, and it's
Okay.
about reasons and factors that involves in a film's financial success. And I
Right.
think that when it comes to movies like Scream and like I Know What You Did Last Summer and stuff like that, or Final Destination, I think these movies do really well because they're established franchises, right? And
Yep.
I think that people are well aware of them and knows about them and that are fans of it. Whereas a movie like Sinners is like an original movie, right?
Right.
And it did really, really well on a $90 million budget. And I don't know, Ryan Coogler has big cojones because that dude made an original movie on a budget like that and was able to make a profit out of it. I want to ask you, like, especially like The Monkey or like Long Legs or stuff like that, like original films like Sinners and all that, that do well in the theater. And do you think that it has something to do with people wanting more original content, originality in films like that, in that range, or is it just like the marketing is just really good that it just blows everybody away and it has this big appeal to people that they just want to watch the movie and stuff like that, you know, and not want to watch something like Scream or Final Destination, which they still do. The people still do watch those movies, but these movies that come out like Sinners, like Long Legs, like The Monkey, and all these little like indie like horror films that
Right.
come out and they do well. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on like why they do well?
Well, the first two I'll touch on is Long Legs and Sinners.
Hmm.
And especially Sinners. You know, think about who's the main lead in that movie. Michael B. Jordan. He's a fucking A-lister. He's a massive star. And in my opinion, and some may think I'm reaching here, but this is my opinion. He is the Denzel of this era. He is. He is the Denzel of this new age era. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And stuff. And I think whenever you see a massive star like that dipping their toes into the horror genre, even if you're a casual horror fan, because you know who that is and you might like their other movies, you're going to want to go buy a ticket because you're going to want to see how they perform in that particular setting and that particular role and stuff like that. Same goes with Nicolas Cage. Even though we've seen Nicolas Cage kind of play, you know, somewhat villainous, over the top type characters, from what I can recall, we never really seen him tap into that Hannibal Lecter type of character. Very psychological, very creepy, has an aura to him and stuff like that. And again, think about the name value with that.
Hmm.
Did Nick go through some tough times there for a little bit? Absolutely. They all do for the most part. Hell, Tom Cruise admits Tropic Thunder saved his career
Hmm.
and stuff. So with Nicolas Cage or whatever, he went through his rough patch, but he's still Nicolas Cage. So
Hmm.
whenever you sit there and see an A-lister and a big star, a recognizable star like that, dipping their toes into psychological horror or suspense thriller or horror, straight up horror movies like slashers or whatever it may be, in relation to the horror genre, you get intrigued because you know that person, you like their movies, you like their acting style for the most part. Even if you don't like their acting style, you might still tune in just to see if you might like them in this particular role or just to talk shit.
Mm.
You know, so for me with those two particular movies with Long Legs and Sinners, now like you said, that is very, very gutsy for Ryan Coogler on a $90 million budget to make that movie and to come back with what he came back with out of that. But that goes to confidence in what you're doing. And it's not just talking about Michael B here too. Haley Steinfeld, she's blown up. Like, they got her to do that movie at the perfect fucking time.
Mm.
You know, and stuff like that. And then the rest of the cast, like, they had a really good cast of notable actors that you have seen in movies before. Delroy Lindo. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played in 8 Mile, who was one of Eminem's friends, the one driving him to work and stuff like they had notable people that were in these movies. The same goes for Longlegs. Alicia Witt, she's known. Blair Underwood, he's known. Micah Monroe, she has a fan base and stuff like that. Now, what was the third movie that you mentioned about the monkey?
The
The
monkey.
monkey. Now, this is the thing, though, too, in regards to why that movie was financially successful. And I've heard like a mixed bag on it. I watched it. I liked it. I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. But I feel like anytime you get a movie that looks like, all right, for instance, Imaginary.
Mm.
Anytime you get a horror villain that kind of appeals to kids, that kind of looks like it appeals to kids, especially if you're a horror fan or even a casual horror fan who grew up watching some of these horror movies every once in a while, you might take your kids to go watch it just for that experience.
Mm.
You know what I mean? To see if maybe they're into stuff like that. You know, and I forget who played in The Monkey, who's that actor, but I know he's kind of, you know, a hot commodity right now, too, in the industry and stuff like that. But also, the thing is, all together right now, and this is my opinion, maybe people will disagree, but Halloween 2018 didn't just reset the bar for our classic slasher IPs like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. It reset the bar in horror in general because it made people want to create more horror movies. It made people want to do more horror movies. These directors, these actors, these A-list actors. Think about that. Think about it like this, Dom. Did we ever see Michael B. Jordan? I can't remember, in a horror movie before Halloween 2018.
No, he was always in dramas, uh,
Action.
action superhero movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Halloween 2018, in my opinion, reset the bar for horror movies because it got people interested again, especially in this new generation. It wasn't just the old generation going to see it, it was the new generation going to see it and stuff. And anytime, and I feel like marketing is so key. Anytime you have an intriguing marketing behind which your project is, you will most likely get a great return on investment. Scream 6. People, some like it, some don't like it. Still made a very fucking good amount of money at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Coogler with Sinners, 90 million. How much did that fucking movie make? What, over 200 million?
Over 200, 300 million.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And it's because people, this is the thing, and this is also the knack with horror movies too, why some flop. It's about the quality. It's not just about the quality in the movie itself. It's the people you have playing these roles. That's what's going to get those tickets punched in and stuff like that. You know, think about what I Know What You Did Last Summer is doing. Look at that young cast. Chase Suey Wonders. She's a hot commodity right now. She's very well liked, you know, in regards to people, you know, what film in regards to film overall. I see so many people now that she's in this movie talking about her in the studio, that show the studio.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's about who you're bringing to the table. You know what I mean? And stuff. Who are you bringing along for this ride? And think about this too. The reason why Sinners, in my opinion, really did so well is because they marketed the shit out of that movie, bro.
Mm.
Even if you knew Haley Steinfeld was going to turn into a vampire, they marketed it well because they marketed it so well that you still, all right, I know she turns into a vampire, but I want to know if Michael B. Jordan is going to turn into a vampire. And there's two versions of him because he's playing himself in a twin.
Mm.
Hold on, we lagging a little bit. I'm seeing a little spinning. But overall, bro, it's about quality. It's about who you're getting to play these roles. You know what I mean? I'm telling you right now, people may not believe me when I say this. I'm telling you, Scream 7 is going to hit over 200 million.
Mm.
I'm calling it right
Yep.
now. They're going to hit over 200 million. Look who the fuck they have in this movie. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, even some of those people who are like, I'm tired of Nev Campbell, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of it or whatever. If the marketing looks great for that movie, that even in the slightest intrigues you, most likely you are going to get off your ass and go buy a ticket.
Mm.
It's inevitable and stuff. So, to me, to sum it up, it's about who you get to play the roles, and it's about the marketing you put behind it. Even though sometimes we may not like them being too spoily, if you get people hyped up for a movie, you will make a lot of money.
Mm.
And
Okay.
that's what it boils down to. If you get people hyped up for a movie, most chances are is that you're going to make a lot of money back. Think about this, bro. Did you really see that much advertisement for Megan 2?
No, not that
And
much.
look how that
Uh.
movie turned out. And look how that movie turned out according to the viewers.
Mm.
They didn't like it too much because they went in a different direction. You have to wonder, did Blum know, okay, people ain't going to like this direction that we're going to go in with this movie, so let's not promote it as much, because if we promote it heavily the way we did the first one and they go see it and the results are still the same, it could end up being even worse, especially when it goes to streaming.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, bro, if you believe in what the fuck you're putting out there and you have a strong marketing behind it, you're going to make a lot of money in any film, in any part of the film. It could be action, it could be comedy, it could be horror, it could be whatever. If you believe in your product and people see that you have these quality actors playing in these roles, they're going to be intrigued, especially, in my opinion, in horror movies, especially if they have never seen these type of A-list actors play in horror movies before. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
hell, man, I remember when I seen that Michael B was doing a vampire movie, I'm like, oh, I got to watch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just what it is, bro. It's about quality and it's about marketing.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Because because I'm wanting to make like a feature right now. I'm making a short film, and and I know people don't really watch short films. Like people
Yeah.
on YouTube, they do watch short films, like on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But most of the majority of the audience or the people that watch movies don't really watch short films. So when I make a feature film, I'm gonna have to like step up my game and start marketing the crap out of it. Have a good cast, have a good story, good quality, like you said, Marcus. Just all those bullet points you made. All those bullet points you made to implement that into a film. The marketing, all that distribution is important too.
Bro,
And
honestly, do that
yeah,
with your short film. Do that with your
Okay.
short film. And the reason why I say that is think about what Saul did with their short film. They marketed the hell out of that on YouTube and whatever platforms they put it on, to the point where what happened? A studio came knocking.
Mm.
You
Yep.
know, so if you marketed your short film, if you market your fan film, think about this. Scream Legacy, because they marketed the hell out of that fan film. What? They're up to like 7, 8 million views on that movie right now. And then
Yeah.
they're already pushing and advertising too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you promote, bro, the more you promote, and this is what I'm learning here too as a content creator on YouTube. You know what I mean? The more you promote, the more you're going to get an audience to know what you're doing and get intrigued by what you're doing. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it's all about promoting. It is all about promoting and stuff like that. Like making ads. That's what I've been learning here lately, how to make ads, what specific hashtags to put in so we can get a decent amount of viewers to that specific ad so people can get excited like, oh, they're doing that over there on this channel. Oh, okay, yeah, let me subscribe and get ready for that stream or something like that. It's no different than movies. It's no different than any form of advertising, bro. The more you advertise your shit, the more most likely you are going to get noticed, and that you're going to get a nice return on investment for the work that you put in.
Okay. So yeah, so just for my short film, just market the shit out of it, pretty much.
Yeah,
Just
bro.
get it out
Honestly,
there.
why not? I mean, really, what's the worst that could happen? In all honesty, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
You got to think about it like this, Dom. And I'll be the first to tell you this: the YouTube algorithm, it works. You got to wait for it to work. Sometimes there's
Mm.
going to be, let's say, for instance, right, your short film. Excuse me. Within the first month, gets like 130 views. Not too bad. You know what I mean? But of course, you want more eyeballs. Through word of mouth and through more advertising, even after the movie's made and you keep sharing and you keep posting about it, the more you advertise it, the more word of mouth is going to get out there. Like, hey, this is a really good short film. You guys should take a look at this. You know what I mean? And then, bro, I'm telling you, I've seen it on some of my YouTube videos. Like, there was a point in time where I did a Scream video that had, like, for 3 months, had under 200 views. You look at that Scream video in particular now, it's at a few thousand views.
Mm.
Sometimes it takes time for it's just like the word of mouth syndrome, like kind of like Scream 96. Scream 1996 didn't do great at the box office the first 2 fucking weeks. But what happened? The word of
Word of
mouth.
mouth.
People got out there, and plus they kept advertising it. And then the third week was better. And then the fourth week was even better than the third. Then the fifth. And it's like, holy shit, we got an avalanche. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, it happens like that. The best thing that you could do, bro, is be patient. You know what I mean? Be patient. Shit ain't, oh, what I've learned here on YouTube, for some people it does, but for some people it don't. Shit don't always happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just believe in what you're doing and put it out there. Simple.
Right. Right. Val says, even Dom, look at what Peter did with Roseblood, and that isn't even mainstream. Marketing and actors made the
Yep.
difference.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen it. Yeah, he's up there. He's getting up there. Over almost over 1 million views with
See?
Roseblood.
See,
Yeah.
bro? See what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Same goes for like Cecil over at the Horror Show channel with
Hmm.
Dylan's New Nightmare. He marketed the shit out of that, and it did really well.
Yeah.
It's all it is, bro. It's all about marketing, man. It's all about pushing it out there, man. That's all it is. And even if you don't get the certain amount of views you are looking for one day, don't stop, because eventually it's going to happen when you least expect it and stuff. You're going to see that uptick. Like I'm telling you, that's just all it is, bro. You just got to keep pushing it out there.
Okay. Yeah, man. Sounds good, man. Yeah, because
And the good thing is, too, and you know this, you got
mhm.
me and Destin who will help promote it with you and help promote it for you. You know what I mean, on our channels and stuff like that. Speaking of which, it's funny that we're having this conversation because I'm going to be reaching out to Brett James Bishop here soon, probably over the next week or two, and see if he's available for a live stream to talk about his fan film.
Hmm.
You know, because I know he finally got it done, and I'm really interested to see that because he's been working on that shit for like 3 years, bro. 3 years he's been working. He's had some hiccups, he's had some ups, he's had some downs. But what happened? He was able to finally get it done, and now it's starting to hit the ground running. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. People are talking about it. He's getting some good feedback on it and all that stuff. So, like, it's just all it is, bro. If you got something that you're passionate about and something you believe in, put it out there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Paula's in the chat. Hey, nice to see you too, Paula.
What's up, Paula?
But yeah, man. Cause what was that? Okay, you're familiar with Al Pacino movies, right? Why did I ask that?
You know what a hoss is, Frank? It's a pig that don't fly straight.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
You know
very
too,
familiar.
Frank.
I love Al Pacino, bro. Like Scarface, The Godfather, Carlito's Way, Any Given Sunday, 88 Minutes. That's an underrated thriller nobody talks about, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Righteous Kill with De Niro. You know what they just The Irishman. You know what I mean? And so, man, yes, Al Pacino's that dude, bro. Wait,
Yeah.
wasn't Al in? Oh, hold on. It wasn't. Oh, I know it's not. I don't think it's Serpent in the Rainbow. Sea of Love or some shit like that. Some thriller shit
See you
or
alive.
whatever. Yeah,
Sense of
Heat.
the Sense of a Woman.
Yes, yup. Heat with De Niro and Kilmer and stuff. Like, man, Al's that dude, bro.
Yeah, because I read that Glengarry Ross with Al Pacino, Kevin Spacey, uh, one of the Baldwins was in it.
Okay.
Um, I read about how the movie failed. I'm like, oh, why did the movie fail? And I think it was like the subject matter, which is real estate. Um, it was supposedly very dark or whatever. There was not much marketing behind it and all that stuff, and it didn't do well. Even though it has Al Pacino in it, and it has Kevin Spacey or Baldwin and all that stuff. I think that even though it had those guys in there that or would you say like sellable to like an audience and
Yes.
stuff like that, it failed because of other factors, not because there were stars in the movie, is because these other factors that were involved and these other reasons that made it fail financially. So I always looked at it and I was just like, huh, like that's but then I read about it. When I read about it and I looked at the reasons and all that stuff, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense why it didn't do as well because of these things that were involved in it. It was the subject matter. It was
Right.
the main thing, and you know, even though people love Al Pacino, they just didn't like that type of movie. It wasn't appealing
Right.
to anybody.
Exactly. If they're not interested in what the quality of the movie is going to be, if they're not interested in seeing that actor particularly playing that particular role, then chances are it could lead to disaster or it could just lead to it not being as successful as you might have not hoped it to be and stuff like that. It's all about, and I'm gonna, steal a line here from one of my wrestling favorites, Bubba Ray Dudley. Strike a chord. You strike a chord with the audience, you sell a ticket.
Okay.
Strike a chord. I mean, you strike a chord. If you can hook the audience, if you can show the audience something without even really being too spoily about what you're doing and stuff. If you can create something that really catches the audience's eye, they're going to be like, I want to see that.
Mm,
Strike a chord. That's all it is. Strike a chord, sell a ticket.
right. Yeah, we got some Al Pacino fans in the house. We got some
Hell
Al
yeah.
Pacino.
Hell yeah, man. He's that dude.
Carlito's Way is so underrated.
So underrated.
It's a
So underrated.
it's a spiritual sequel to Scarface. I'll always say that.
Oh, I agree with you.
It's a spiritual sequel.
It really is. Um, Carlito Berganti, excuse me, was Tony Montana who tried to get out of the game. Tony Montana was Tony Montana who wanted to rule the game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's definitely parallels between those two characters and stuff like that. And you're right, man. Such a great cast too. John Leguizamo, Sean Penn, um, James. I want to say his name is James Wilborn because he played in
Yeah.
Meet the Parents. Like they had a really good cast too. What's his name? Louis Guzman.
Mm.
Vigo Mortensen. Laline, look at me. You have everything, man. I'm your fucking neighbors, Carlito. Yo, like they had so many fucking good moments, man. And that opening, when he's talking to the like to me, it's one of the most hilarious Pacino moments ever in cinema because of the way he was running down the judge, basically telling him it didn't take 30 years to rehabilitate me, only 5. You know what I mean? Like that whole opening scene was so fucking good. It was so good. The dialogue and everything. And even though Carlito was a gangster, and I love how they opened it up with the moment he gets on the streets, shit just, it's like it tries to draw him back in, but he's fighting it. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful story, man. It really, really is. It's a beautiful, beautiful story that didn't need a sequel. They did do a sequel with, I won't say you know who. He's not a popular figure these days. But they did a sequel and it went straight to DVD and it didn't need a sequel. And they kind of like fucked up the whole arc and stuff like that. But Pacino's version of Carlito's Way, underrated classic, man. That's up there for me. That is definitely up there. Such a damn good movie.
And
Penelope
Miller.
Ann Miller from The Relic was in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, great cast, great story, just great everything. Like, such a good movie.
Yeah, and because since we're on the topic of Al Pacino and actors, man, like I've seen throughout my lifetime actors that come and go. It's unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
Um, Pauly Shore, you know, we talked about it backstage a while ago. Pauly Shore had his run. He had his run with his movies, and it got to a point where when it got to jury duty, it just wasn't selling. It just wasn't selling
Right.
anymore. And then you had Tom Sizemore. Tom Sizemore was pretty big in the '90s and stuff like that, and then he faded out, and then Eric Roberts faded out, and then this guy, and it kept going and going. Josh Hartnett for a
Right.
while was like not doing anything, but then he came back. Josh Hartnett came back, and he started doing more
And he's
stuff,
back with a
which
fucking
is cool.
bang, bro. And he is
Yeah,
back with a bang. Like that's my
yeah,
that's my guy right there.
hell yeah, yeah, because with these actors, man, when you think about it, um, do you do you see them like say like a Pauly Shore or Eric Roberts or who else like someone you can think about that was big back in the day that was just on top of the world, but then they faded out and crumbled down. Um, Like with these people, do you see them having a chance to come back into the limelight? I heard Pauly Shore saying he's doing a movie with not with, but he's portraying Richard Simmons, the exercise coach, like fitness person. Um, do you see someone like him, someone like Eric Roberts, and stuff like that coming back into the fold on the big screen, like what Freddie Prinze has done, what Jennifer Love Hewitt is doing, with I Know What You Did Last Summer? Like, what are your thoughts on the lost stars that we had before that are not here today, or not on the big screen today? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on them coming back into the limelight, and do they have a chance?
Well, if Paulie is going to be successful with this biopic of Richard Simmons, I think he has. I think I'm spinning. All right, yeah, it lagged out for a second. But if he's going to be successful with this Richard Simmons biopic, he has to really tap into the role, you know. And yeah, did Richard Simmons have his funny moments and stuff? I'm sure he did. Yeah, absolutely. And stuff like that. But he has to tap into who Richard Simmons was as a man, the side of him that we didn't know. You know what I mean? And stuff. To me, if Paulie can do that, he might just be successful with this movie. And I think the reason why Paulie kind of fell off, and it's kind of like some of them, you know, even when Al Pacino went through his little rough spell, is because they get typecasted. You get typecasted to play a certain particular character. You know what I mean? And stuff.
Yeah.
And that can actually hurt your believability if you actually like. So Pauly Shore was known to be funny. He's a comedian. But maybe he wanted to tap into more serious roles. But because you have been typecasted so much in these funny roles that when you go to do a serious role, people can't visually see it. They can't buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stuff, which could also lead to a downfall in regards to why other movies you're doing outside of the ones you were typecasted for, they're not doing too well and stuff like that. Like, who is the other one that you named?
I named Eric
Because I know
Roberts.
you said Tom Sizemore, but that wasn't
Yeah, he passed away.
Eric Roberts. See, Eric passed away?
No. Tom Sizemore passed away.
Yeah, I know Tom Sizemore passed away. Yeah. I was gonna say, when the hell did Eric Roberts pass away? Like, I didn't hear that. But Eric Roberts, I always felt like he had his little shine, but I also always felt like he was always going to be kind of overshadowed by his sister, you know, Julia, and stuff like that. So, and also, I know Eric also was never shy about doing like Lifetime movies and doing those type of films and stuff like that. So I don't think it was even more by like him falling off. I think it was kind of by choice, you know, to kind of stay away from the mainstream stuff to a degree and stuff. And especially think about it like this. Some Lifetime movies or some like independent movies will pay them more than the big screens will.
Mm.
They will. You know what I mean? It may not seem that way because it's like, oh, well, how's that true? Because the studios have a bigger budget and this and that. Yeah, you can have a studio that has a pretty big budget, but how much of that budget are they trying to pay the actor?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even if it is a decent name like Eric Roberts, they could look and be like, well, you're not Julia, so we're not going to give you Julia money.
Mm.
But an independent film, because they're independent and they really want as many eyeballs on their film as much as possible, hey, we'll give you $1 million to star in this role, and we think you'd be a great fit. I'm going to take that. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So for me, Eric Roberts, and I always thought he was a pretty damn good actor and stuff, but I personally, I never saw him like on that level because there was no consistency in regards to staying at that level and stuff like that. But I respect and appreciate him because he wasn't doing a lot of A-list stuff, he was still doing a lot of good projects that, in my opinion, are good for consumptions to be at home. You know what I mean? Not every great movie you have to go see it in a movie theater. You can watch a classic that you never heard about from the comfort of your own home.
Mm.
You know, sometimes it's better that way because, in my opinion, it is easier to make an independent film more than it is a mainstream film because we know this, Dom. The mainstream studios are always trying to fuck with shit.
Yeah.
They're always trying to tweak stories. Oh, well, we don't want that for this character, so you do this and you do that and stuff like that. So I think with Eric Roberts, it was just more like, okay, I mean, this is maybe just me thinking if I was him, I'm a great actor, but am I my sister? Am I going to get paid the type of money that she's going to get paid for these big projects? No, they don't look at me like that. So I'm going to go do these projects that might pay me a little bit more and do see me like that, even if it's not on a national stage, you know, and stuff like that. And that's how, in all honesty, when you see these actors do low budget movies or independent movies, that's how you know they genuinely love what they do. They genuinely love acting. It's not about the big dollars or the big studios and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, prime example of that is Crispin Glover. Bro, you don't fucking see Crispin Glover at all. At all no more. When's the last mainstream fucking movie Crispin Glover has done? What was it? The last Charlie's Angels that they had with Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu?
Yeah, I mean, it could be that.
That
Yeah.
and Willard and that. Those were the last like two big Hollywood movies that Crispin Glover was a part of. And a couple years back, I watched an interview with him because he's actually a filmmaker overseas now. Like, he makes his own movies. And the interviewer asked him, do you ever see yourself coming back to America and maybe doing some filmmaking over here or getting back into acting more and taking up some roles? And he flat out said no. He said, I make more money overseas and I deal with so much less stress doing my own thing and doing what we're doing over here than I'd have to deal with the studios and stuff like that. So some of them by choice, because they're tired of fucking dealing with these big executives. I love acting. This is what I do. It may cost me a little bit of money and it may cost me a little bit of national attention, but I'm doing acting because I love to act. So if I got to go do these independent films and do these lesser known projects and still make a great living off of it, that's what I'm going to do and stuff like that. So also, I think too, man, again, going back to like the typecasting stuff, you know what I mean? And I think that is a big thing with Pauly Shore is, you know, and kind of Al Pacino. And this is why I put Al in that category too. Because think about it. When Al was really hitting it big with Godfather, and Scarface and stuff like that. Yeah, with those type of movies. What proceeded after that? More mob type of movies, like Carlito's Way. Wasn't he in Donnie Brasco?
Yep, that was him, Donnie Brasco.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, so even he for a little bit there. De Niro. Typecast. De Niro. Think about this. The first real big movie that Robert blew up on was playing a psycho taxi driver. He even played in Cape Fear. But you don't ever really hear people talk about Taxi Driver or Cape Fear. What do you hear? You hear about Casino. You hear about Goodfellas. Those are the type of movies, Heat, you know, playing those type of espionage gangster type of characters. You know what I mean? So the best of them, bro, they get typecasted. And then when you see them play another role that is like kind of learning a new language in regards to seeing them play this role, some people, it don't resonate with people because they're so used to, some people don't like change. You know what I mean? So some people might not like seeing Robert De Niro as an overprotective CIA father trying to protect his daughter from Ben Stiller.
Right.
They might not appreciate or like that because he's not playing Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas, or he's not playing Sam Ace Rothstein and stuff like that. So
He's not playing Vito
I think
Corleone.
when great actors, yes, when great iconic actors or really, really good actors like Eric Roberts and Pauly Shore and stuff, when they get typecasted and then go to do something else, because people cannot unsee them they can't unsee a special role of them that they actually liked. It tends to make people sour and stuff, and the believability factor goes down a little bit and things get a little stale. It happens to the best of them and stuff, like, and that's why certain things tank. I mean, think about it. You know, when you look at the movie Righteous Kill, action movie, De Niro, Pacino, 50 Cent's in it, Carlo Giorgino's in it, Brian Dennehy is in it. Great cast. Didn't really do that good at the box office. Because by that point, it's like, okay, well, we've seen you play these gangster type of roles before, or these dirty cop type of roles or whatever. We've seen you play them before. That's even kind of grown stale on us. And then we went and seen you do other work and other type of roles, and we didn't really like that neither. So now the demand isn't as big for those actors what it was. And stuff like that. Typecasting is a motherfucker, man. Typecasting is a motherfucker. Think about this. Liev Schreiber, you say his name correctly, he recently came out and says he regrets telling Wes Craven and killing him off. But the reason why he wanted to be killed off as Cotton Weary is because he didn't want to be typecasted. And I don't blame him for taking that risk. It didn't turn out well, so to speak. You know what I mean? But think about it like this. If he does stay in the Scream franchise, right? Let's say Cotton doesn't get killed and he became a mainstay of the Scream franchise. Would he have gotten the Ray Donovan role? Would he have gotten the fucking didn't he play Beast in X-Men?
Yeah. Play Beast in
X-Men. Would he have gotten any of those? Would he have gotten any of those roles? Is it if he was still only really known as Cotton Weary and Scream? So those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Fortunately for Liev, it turned out to be great for him. Also, he's a fucking fantastic narrator. Like a fantastic bro. Have you ever heard him narrate?
Yeah, dude.
Have you ever heard him narrate, Dom?
Yeah.
Bro, it's fucking amazing, bro. I'm a huge boxing fan. And I'll never forget the 24/7 series that they would have on the boxers leading into the big pay-per-view fight. And I used to always watch those shits because, it's behind the scenes in the lives of the fighters, getting to know the fighters more and stuff. And I'll never forget when the credits were rolling up and it said narrator, Liev Schreiber. And I'm like, I knew that fucking voice from somewhere. Wow, right. He's narrating this? Damn. And it was like, he just has the perfect voice for something like that. He's so damn talented. But he's a perfect example in regards to what he said about not wanting to be typecast, why certain stars that were darlings I think we lost Dom. Holy shit. I was going in, y'all. It fucked me up. Val gonna clip that out. I already know. You know what I mean? But what I was saying is basically that's why a lot of our darlings, like De Niro, like Pacino, like Pauly Shore, eventually their run ended up maybe even being shorter than what it should have been because they kept getting typecasted for specific roles, to where when they went and did other stuff, it didn't hit with an audience like their other roles did. There we go. You're back.
I'm back. Because I had to make
Good
sure
stuff.
I fixed the tapping on the chat, because I've been struggling trying to get to the comments Um,
Oh,
yeah,
StreamYard's probably still going through its bullshit. Remember, it was on a maintenance kick the other day.
yeah, yeah. So I just want to say hello to DJ. Welcome, DJ. That's my DJ. That's our
Go
DJ. You know,
DJ. That's our DJ.
DJ. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's good to see you here. Uh, let's see who else. Okay, we got chatting. De Niro. King Matthew said De Niro was also in Dirty Grandpa with Zac Efron. Uh, I don't think I've seen that.
I don't think I've seen that neither.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. But hey, he's been doing some interesting roles lately, especially on the political side.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
King Matthew says Lee Schreiber played Sabretooth in X Men. I think that's what it
Sabretooth. Yep.
was. I thought it was Tyler
Yeah.
Bane that played Sabretooth. Was it not?
He might have in a different X-Men movie, but I don't think in the one where we actually like see him like kind of look human and stuff. I think that was the one with Liev Schreiber.
Oh, that's X Men Origins Wolverine. That's what the movie was. Lee Schreiber was in that. Yeah,
Yes, yes, there you go. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Tyler Mane was in
Played
the
a great
original
Sabretooth
X Men.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
I never knew that.
yeah. I didn't know that until recently. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I
Oh
thought there was
wow.
another. I thought someone was knocking at the door for a second. So I saw one thing pop up from the guest thing. I was just like, wait a minute. Um, let's see. Uh, King Matthew says Muse Watson is another example of typecast. Everyone knows him as Ben Willis, but he was also in Prison Break and NCIS. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's an underrated actor, man.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that.
Sometimes these actors they go into TV and stuff like that. Like they do TV
Yep, that too.
and they stay in there and they make good money from that too, from what I've heard. Like
Oh,
Andrew
very much.
Lincoln. You know Andrew Lincoln from Walking Dead?
No, I never really follow Walking Dead.
So like Andrew Lincoln is like the main star in Walking Dead. He's been through all the seasons so far, and in the new show as well that they did.
Oh, okay.
And he's never really branched out of that. He stayed in the TV zone of like The Walking Dead, so he never really branched
Right.
out. So it's interesting to see that, especially actors from films go into like TV shows like that.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Uh, Val says Jenna is a perfect example of typecasting. Studio 666, Scream, Beetlejuice, Wednesday. You know, I was actually did I no, I didn't talk about this with you, Marcus. I talked to about with someone else. I was like, do you think that Jenna Ortega is going to fade? I don't want to say I don't want to say it, but fade out from her her like work as an actress because she's doing these typecasting roles and people know her for her, and then she's gonna do something else and it's gonna be like I'm not interested in seeing her in this. I more want to see her in like a Wednesday role or whatever, something like that. What do you think? Do you think
Yeah,
Jenna's gonna last long?
I I want to say she has the talent, obviously, to last as long as she wants to last. A lot of them do,
Mhm.
but I can agree that she is like a perfect example of being typecast because, prime example, all the movies that Val just and the TV show of Wednesday that Val just mentioned here, Now think about this. Remember she did that Netflix movie where she's like 27 or something, dating like a 40-something-year-old dude or something like that. Some
Mm-hmm.
type of movie, like a drama like that. And a lot of people were like, oh, this ain't it. They were kind of bagging on it and stuff like that. Then one just recently, which people will say I'm biased, but I'm not. I personally enjoyed the movie itself. Hurry Up Tomorrow. A lot of
Mm.
people gave that movie shit. I know you've seen the shit storm that came from that movie. Me personally, I didn't think it was as bad as people were making it out to be. I will say this, they shouldn't have dubbed it as a psychological horror movie because they didn't have enough psychological horror aspects to make it a psychological horror movie. It was more like a psychological drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
And stuff like that. That's what it was, or whatnot. But her even playing in that role, you know what I mean, and stuff like a lot of people were basically cracking up on her performance in that movie and stuff like that. Why? Because it's a different type of role that you're seeing her in. She's not playing a Tara Carpenter. She's not playing a Wednesday Addams. She's not in Insidious. She's not in Studio 66 playing those type of roles and stuff. So they like her. They like her a lot as an actress, but they like her in stuff that they want to see her in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so even if she tries to branch out and show her range, even if the performance is great or pretty bad, to a lot of people who are fans of her because of one particular thing or a couple particular movies or whatever, basically Wednesday and Scream, eventually that can lead to potential disaster. It definitely can, especially because the last two movies that she did with Hurry Up Tomorrow and that one she did for Netflix they didn't do too good and stuff like that. So it's sad because she is an incredible talent,
Mm-hmm.
but people like what they like, and people like what they want to see their favorite actors. They like specific roles for them and just can't see them in anything else. So, yeah, she could be considered somebody who could head into that territory. You know, however, 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 what could save that to a degree? What could save that? I mean, she's going to have to still kind of be in her typecast bubble and just ride this wave of being, typecast in a particular subgenre. But what could really save that and forget about all those negative stuff, about those movies that she just recently did, the ones that people don't like, as if some way, somehow, they bring the Carpenter sisters back and Scream. Not this one, not Scream 7, but maybe Scream 8, maybe Scream 9, you know, and stuff like that. But unless, unless she can have a movie stealing performance to the level of what Mikey Madison did, and something in a subgenre that is not horror or doesn't have horror elements in it. If she can do what Mikey did and have that type of movie where it's like a drama and people are captivated by it and stuff like that, then she might be able to get out of that typecasting bubble. She has the acting chops for it. It's just all about finding that one. If she can find that one, she might be safe and she might be able to go do different projects that she really feels in her heart she would love to do without the backlash and stuff like that. But so far, it don't look too good.
Yeah.
So far, it don't look too good, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is that there's actors like Dougie Doug. We watched him in Doctor Giggles.
The giggles.
He was in Class Act. He was in Cool Runnings. He was. eight-legged freaks or whatever, stuff like that. And then he just like, you know, went off
Yeah.
and didn't do anything else. And the reasoning was actually pretty understandable because in Cool Runnings, he was told to wear a dress or something like that. And he started seeing like Hollywood execs telling him like do this, do that, do this, do that, and all that stuff. And like he
Right.
just like wasn't about it, and he was just like, nah, this ain't for me. So he just went away, and just did
Right.
went off to another thing. So it's interesting, man, just seeing some actors that like they become big and then they just go away or either fade off or just leave or do whatever, you know.
You know who's a perfect example of that? Of just pick up and go at the peak of their powers? Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda, single white female, Jackie Brown. What was that one fucking action movie? I forget. I remember watching it when I was younger. She was like a hit woman or some shit like that, but you guys get the gist. Bridget Fonda was a big star in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and stuff. And out of nowhere, just disappeared. Now, recently, somebody caught a photo of her. I think she was leaving the airport. You wouldn't even recognize it was her. That's
Wow.
how much she has distanced herself from the Hollywood life and limelight. You wouldn't even think it was her. And when paparazzi like tried to talk to her, like she was like, "No, get away." Like she didn't want it.
Damn.
Some people, they get their money, they see how the industry is, and they say, "Fuck that! I'm out. I've made my money. I'm set for life. I'm gone. I'm not doing it." And then, especially coming from a family like hers, that's film royalty. She never would have to worry about money anyway,
Right.
and stuff like that. So, it's like Milton said in Scream 3, man. And West put that line in there for Lance Hendrickson to say this for a reason. Sometimes Hollywood just isn't the place for innocence.
Mm.
You got to do shit. If you really want to be that big star, you got to do what they tell you to do. You got to basically follow the ritual in so many ways. You know what I mean? And if you don't, well, you don't get the perks of being this big. This ain't the lifestyle for you. If you're not going to do certain things that we want that you can get for certain parts, which is mostly degrading and sexual and shit like that, this ain't for you and shit like that. And it's sad that it's got to be that way. You should just let these talents and let their talent speak for itself. But it's been like that for a very, very long time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Key Matthew says Jennifer Love Hewitt is also kind of typecasted, as well as she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yep.
Party of Five, and is now on 911, and now back to I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, I mean, I
Don't
wouldn't
forget
say
about Ghost
like,
Whisperer.
oh, Ghost Whisperer, yeah, and
Mhm.
I just think that it's good to see her back, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, because she is the final girl of that franchise. And I just I don't see it as a bad thing in terms of my eyes, just like seeing that, just seeing her back. But to her, it could be a detriment to her if she wants to do another role that's outside of I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's that's not even horror related. You know, I think that would be a detriment to her because it would be like, oh shoot, now I can't get this role because I did I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then a bunch of other I Know What You Did Last Summers after that because they wanted me back for more of those. And
Right.
it's a constant cycle of just being typecasted over and over and over again, and it's unfortunate, but if some people like to be typecasted, that's the thing too. Some people like to be typecasted,
Some people
like,
do.
and it because they're like, An actor told me, he's like, I like being typecast. I'm like, why do you like being typecasted? It seems like a negative thing that you would stay away from. He's like, because I get the role without auditioning. I can get it without auditioning, and then I go and I just get like that because they know me for this role, and therefore I get put in the role without even auditioning, and I get paid for it. And I'm like, well, damn. I mean, if you look at it like that,
Yeah.
that's kind of
And,
that. You know,
yeah, and plus after playing that role for so long, that type of role, it's second nature. So you don't have to. All you have to do is add certain tweaks and nuances for each type of those roles. You know what I mean? You don't have to go all in and be like, all right, well, I have to change completely everything that I do because this is something completely different and stuff like that. Like, so yeah, man, sometimes being typecasted really isn't that bad. If you enjoy it, it's not that bad. It really isn't. But if you are somebody like a Jennifer Aniston who never wanted horror to, you know what I mean, be what she's known for, then you won't give the fans what they want and come back to Leprechaun. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that she refuses to do that. And I understand her position, because her personally, I don't want to be typecast as a final girl.
Hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And Stella G's
What's
in the
up,
chat.
Stella?
What's up, Stella? How you doing? Nice to see you here. Thank you for stopping by. Val says, you see that happening in Hollywood all Hollywood. Hollywood all the time. Blacklisting stars because they draw a line. Well,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate, man, because, the way that the studios and the execs, treat the actors, it's unfortunate, man. It doesn't have to be that way,
It
but
really is.
we're not in a perfect world, unfortunately. So it's the way it is for what they're doing over there in Hollywood. But I just wish that actors be treated more fair and more just more human. Just we're all human at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like Mukasa Mikasa. That's it, and stuff like that.
Well,
We're
see,
on the same
that's the
page.
problem with a lot of these studios. That's the problem with a lot of these studios. They don't look at these actors as human. They look at them as money. They look at them as dollar signs.
Hmm.
They look at them as a piece of paper. They don't look at them as a living human being, a live vessel. They don't look at that. They look at it as you are my gateway to print money.
Right.
And it's sad that they have that mindset. A lot of them. There's some decent ones that don't, but a lot of them do.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and I kind of see this like as well. Like I'm starting to experience this as well, in like the more independent side of in film and acting and stuff like that. Like I just started trying to get back into acting just recently. Lucky enough, I just got a gig. I just got a gig, a role today. Not shooting today, but shooting next Friday.
Nice.
I'm gonna be playing a farmer in a Jason fan film. So that's it's gonna be fun.
Good shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
There
Thank
you
you, man.
go.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun. But I struggled for about 3 to 5 months, 3 to 5 months trying to get a role. You know what I'm saying? And I reached
Right.
out to people, and they either don't respond or they respond saying, "Yeah, we'll get you this and that," but they never come to me and never respond back and saying, "Hey, this is the date. This is what we need you. Blah blah blah. Here's the time.
Right.
This and that." I haven't got that for 5 months ever since I came back into acting. But since I was not when I was persistent and I never gave up, I kept going. I was like, nope. Just because you say no doesn't mean that I'm going to say no. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. So I kept going. I kept pushing, And finally, I reached out to somebody, and then they're like, "Yeah, man, we got a role for you. It's a farmer role for a Jason fan film, and do you mind
No,
getting your your pants or your shoes dirty?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm signing up. Put me on
yeah, right.
the role, right?" And I was just like, "Yeah, man, this is a dream of mine to be killed by Jason. Like, come on, man, this is a dream of mine. So, of course, I'm gonna do it.
so,
Like, it's gonna be fun."
so you're playing a farmer. Are you going to be playing the type of farmer that was in 2009, growing some fucking fresh buds?
Yes, yes. Yeah, man. That's
All
exactly
right,
what it's gonna be.
I'm gonna need some. I need you to send me some.
Yeah, man.
As soon as you said, bro, as soon as you said you're playing a farmer, as soon as you said you're playing a farmer, I'm like, my boy's gonna have some fresh ass buds in that field. Sorry, guys. I I am I'm an openly admitted stoner. Love smoking weed.
Hell yeah, dude. I haven't smoked weed in a long time. I stopped smoking because it wasn't doing anything for me, and I was getting a little more paranoid. But that doesn't take away the fact that other people enjoy smoking weed, and it helps them a lot. Mentally
It
and
absolutely
physically.
does.
Hmm.
It helps me a lot. It does.
Yeah.
Especially with being able to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It definitely can help with that. And a lot of people are applauding, saying congrats, thank you,
Yeah.
Stella G. It's amazing. Yeah, very cool. Say from Val, thank you. Paula says, how do you get involved in fan films? Well, you gotta look at your area of like opportunity, which is what I say. Is like look in the area that you're in. Who's the filmmakers in your area? What are they doing? Are they making films or series or whatnot? Reach out to them. Send them a reel. Send them a headshot. They need auditions. Send them an audition tape. Stuff like that. And if they're doing a fan film, most likely they're looking for people that are just like starting out or whatever. Sometimes they usually get people that are experienced and stuff, but like they're usually looking for people that are just starting out because it's a fan film. It's not really it's taken seriously. It's more like a passion project to them. So just look out for them
Right.
and just reach out to them. And if they're making a fan film that you like, just reach out to them. Say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. Is there a role that you have for me? Here's my reel. Here's my headshot. Here's my resume. This and that. And then if you want me to audition, I'll audition. You know, stuff like that. So you just reach out to them and then they'll reach back to you. Hopefully they respond to you and they say yes and all that good stuff. But the whole point is to not give up. Be persistent,
Yep.
be on top of it. Always upgrade your update your headshots and all that stuff and your reels. Just be on top of it, and don't give up, because you're gonna get there. It's like walking from one place to another. If you don't walk
Yep.
from this place to that place,
You're
you're not
never
going to
gonna
get
get
there.
there. Yep.
You got to walk. You got to walk to that direction. You got to walk to that place because if you stop and you just give up, then you didn't do anything, right? So you gotta stay persistent and don't give up. That's my
Yeah.
takeaway from that. Is there anything you want to say, Marcus, on that?
Yep. Yep. It's just like I was saying to you earlier. Yeah, it's just like I was saying to you earlier about your short film that you want to do. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? You just keep at it. You keep at it. You know what I mean? You just keep promoting. You keep promoting. The more you put it out there, and the more you don't give up on yourself, eventually you will get what you're looking for.
Right, right. But yeah, that's good, Paula. That's cool. She said, hell yeah. Val says, when you get famous, Dom, don't forget about us. I, I don't
Hell
intend to
yeah.
plan to be famous. I plan to just do the roles and, you know, just act and do it for the love
Right.
of it. I
See,
don't really plan on getting big.
and that's the beautiful thing. And that's the beautiful thing about this, little group that we have here between me, you, and Destin, is that all three of us, you're already doing it with the acting and stuff. We also want to, dip our toes into a little bit of acting and a little bit of writing and stuff like that and stuff. So the fact that we, are surrounded with people who actually have that experience and stuff and know what it's like to be on set and all that shit. I mean, hell, you never know. We might at some point we might call you, Dom, and be like, "Yo, we got a role for you. You want to take it?" You know what I mean,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like we got, you know what I mean. That's the beautiful thing about you know, like meeting friends and new people here in this community is that everybody has their own goals and own aspirations. Especially when it comes to this side. Hear what we're doing. You know what I mean? Dom loves to be in movies. He loves to act and stuff like that. I would not mind doing my own, even though I'm more kind of like where Destin's at. I would just like to write stories and write scripts and stuff like that. But hey, I mean, if somebody wanted me to do a cameo and get killed by a killer, hey, count me in. I'm in there and stuff like that. Like just experiences like that. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Like you said, Dom, if you don't try to see what's out there, you're never going to know. You're never going to be able to truly live up to your full potential. Even if you go do it and it doesn't turn out the greatest, at least you could say, I tried and I did it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now I can take this experience and this lesson and apply it to something else if another opportunity knocks. So now I know to take full advantage of this opportunity and so on and so forth. So, man, I'm so happy for you, man. Congratulations. Let me know when this fan film is going to be hitting the airwaves because, man, I'm sure I'll talk to Destin about we'll do like a live watch party or something about it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Are they gonna post it on YouTube and stuff?
So
Are
someone
they gonna post it on YouTube?
it's gonna be on YouTube. Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on the horror.
Nice.
It's gonna be on Hollywood Horror Film Club's channel. Hollywood Horror Film
Okay.
Club's channel. So it's um it's gonna be on there, and it's he has like over 1K subscribers or something. He's got pretty
Okay.
good following, and he does fan films, dude. Like he does fan films, he does short films and stuff like that, and he's awesome, man. He's awesome. He does weekly lives on YouTube as well, so he does his own thing as well. So
What is it again?
Hollywood Horror Film Club,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Yep.
Val says, "I'll
Nice.
be your I'll be your guys' secretary. I can type like a mad woman." That's the You're the general, Val. You can do whatever you want with us all, because you hold the keys to the kingdom. So
Nice.
you got hold. Yeah,
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'm checking out his channel and stuff now. That's what's up. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I just dubbed to him, so I'll be keeping an eye out for y'all fan film, buddy. Yeah, let me know. Give me more details about that. Like I said, and talk to him. You know what I mean? If he's interested, maybe we can get him on one of our channels and talk about the movie and stuff like that and give it some promotion. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
No, like you already know we got your back, Dom.
Hell yeah, man.
And
Yo, I
bro, think
got your
about it
back as
this
well.
way too. Think about it like this too, especially like for your channel and stuff like that. That could also, doing like an interview or something like that where you guys are going to talk a little bit about the movie without spoiling stuff. That could also help you not just with your YouTube channel, but also maybe help you get noticed for more roles. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And stuff like that. Other horror, tubers or people, horror film creators who are looking for people to fill roles, they might see you in that and be like, oh, okay. well, I have this particular role for him. I like the way he played that role. Let's see if he's interested in this role. Oh, and he has a YouTube channel. Sweet. Oh, okay. And it's attached to an Instagram account. Sweet. Let's reach out to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's all about creating new and more opportunity, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. And yeah, I see that we also have another writer too. Paula says she likes to write too, and she'll be watching as well. So yeah, that's cool.
Sweet. Hell yes. That's awesome. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I like to dabble a little bit in the writing and stuff like that, man. Like, and
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing about, being a horror fan and stuff like that, is that you can use your imagination and you can, toy with certain things and stuff like that. And as long as you can make it make sense and, make it believable and stuff like that, you can make any idea you want come to life.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. And Stella G says that's how David Sandberg got started. He put videos out on YouTube. He had no budget, so he had his wife star in all of them, and they filmed in his apartment. That's how Lights Out came about. Ooh, yeah, that's
Wow.
right.
See?
Yeah, it's Lights Out because Lights Out was a short film.
See?
Yeah, yeah, I see it, man.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man, it's cool. It's really cool. Let's see.
Hell yes. That's the story arc right there, man. Think about that. You know what I
mhm,
mean? No budget, no nothing, just starting basically fan films on YouTube and stuff, starring his wife and stuff, and then boom, was able to get noticed and get a pretty big IP, or get a pretty big, not IP because, it was a brand new movie, but basically get an opportunity to make a mainstream movie.
right. Are you interested in finding new channels? I can think of one. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, if there's any more like channels that you guys recommend that we haven't heard of or we haven't came across, let us know in the comments, and then I'll pull it up, and then we can definitely like subscribe and check out their channels and stuff. Because this is about building a community. It's about getting together and building the community and making sure like we all grow.
Hell yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah. Justin
Yeah, I'm
Bieber, I
always,
think
I'm,
is.
I won't say I'm
Uh,
always doing it, but every once in a while when I have some time, I will stumble across some other horror content creators that really like aren't, like, I want to say big, or not even just big, but like a lot of people maybe like don't pay attention to them. And a lot of them are good. Like, you know what I mean? I subscribe to them and stuff. Like, I'm subscribed to a good bit of horror channels, and even some horror channels like that I don't particularly like collab with and stuff. Yeah, it's all about showing love to the community as a whole. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Even if you don't particularly, you know, follow one as much as you do the others. You know what I mean? We're all in this game together. That's how I
mhm.
look at it.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. And I don't like to bring this up, but I know that Cheetah brought it up on your 8 questions interview
Yeah.
uh, about how there are certain bad apples in the community that we won't name, we won't speak of, but it's I just want to say like that it's it's a shame that we do have those, but that doesn't dictate the whole community as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that we have great people in the community that like you, Marcus, like Destin, like me, and all and everyone else, like Killjoy Jake. Great content
Right.
creators that fill the space and make the content, but also are like cool with their subscribers. They're friends with them. They're
Right.
and it's part of the community and all that. And so I just feel like we should focus on more of the good side of our community than the bad side of the community, because I think if we push more of the good, we'll even out the bad. You know what I'm saying? That's how we grow, and that's how we make sure that we do better, and we're great as a community that we already are. You know, we're great community. Right? I think we're the
Right.
best community
Right.
in YouTube, you know? So we just got to focus on the good and keep doing what we're doing.
Right. And I think that right there is the key. You know what I mean? It's just, and I said it on Cheetah's channel, you know what I mean, and stuff. I get where certain people's frustrations are and stuff like that with certain channels. I understand that. You know what I mean? I'm just at this point, listen, I'm we're focused on what we got to do. We can't control what everybody else does. People are going to do their own thing, and we're going to have to do our own thing, and that's just what it is, and stuff like that. So I'm focused on the direction that we're heading in. You know what I mean, and stuff. I like it, and that's just where I'm at. You know what I mean, and stuff. Like I'm just that's just where I'm at with it. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna run their shit how they run their shit. And that's just it's really nothing we can do, you know, to control it. All we can do is control what we control in our own lives and stuff like that. So and just keep doing what we're doing, and people seem to like what we're doing, over on our channels and stuff. And that's what we got to focus on. That's why I did that stream the way I did it today and stuff in regards to like, instead of just having the camera on my face and we just have a conversation, that's why I created those overlays to flick through and to ask questions to the audience to engage more. You know what I mean? And stuff, make the audience feel like it is more about me asking them questions just as much as it is about them asking me questions and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So, you know what I mean? That's just what it's all about for me, man, is getting the audience to engage and keep sharing this love and this passion that we have for this genre and for these movies and stuff, you know what I mean? And try, my best to keep the positivity flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Oh, okay, good, good, good. Because I got someone called me on the phone,
Oh yeah,
and I
you
was like, oh
good.
no, not again.
But yeah, that's just where it is, man. You know what I mean? And stuff like, and like I said on Cheetah's channel, you know what I mean? No ill will to anybody. The way I look at it is nothing changes with me. You know, I still wish people well with whatever they do. You know what I mean? And stuff, because that's how I entered this game and that's how I want to leave it, regardless to what. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So again, man, I like the direction we're headed in and stuff like that. And I'll personally say this too. I like what I'm starting to do more with my channel and stuff like that, especially in regards to, you know, when a certain particular movie, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, is coming out, is just kind of hunker down and focus on that maybe for like a couple weeks and then venture into other stuff that is going to be coming out because the results speak for itself. The community is growing. I understand I'm not going to be able to get to every single horror movie that is trending, you know? So I have to just pick one that is really intriguing to not only myself, but my audience and focus on that and hone in on that. And that's will be, some of this new content that is coming in. It's not just about Scream. It's not just about Halloween. We got I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got Strangers coming up. And I'll be honest, man, like as much as a fan of Halloween and Scream I am, I love what I'm doing with my channel because I'm giving the viewer some variety. Yes, it is mostly slasher based, but they're different characters, they're different villains, so on and so forth, that we can have a discussion about and on a whole new different movie and stuff like that. So I like the direction that I'm heading in with my channel, and I think a lot of the audience does as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm down with it, man. You know me. I'm down with the posse.
Right. Because see, that's
uh,
another thing though, too, Dom. And I even had this conversation with Destin, you always try to learn and adapt here on YouTube, especially as a content creator. And one thing I noticed was like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna still do my Scream content. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna do my Halloween content. Absolutely. But we are in a ever-growing sea of sharks. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean, excuse me, is that a lot of the horror content creators on YouTube, especially in this little tight knit community, in regards to collabing with other YouTubers that we do and that you see us collaborate with, a lot of us do post a lot of the same stuff in regards to like Scream rumors, Halloween rumors, and stuff like that. If you want your channel to stand out, you have to start talking about other movies that you like. Because guess what? Those other movies that you start talking about and like, you'd be surprised how much of your audience likes it too.
right.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And that's how you grow your community, and stuff like that. It's always about trying to stand out. What can I do to adapt and get different from everybody else? You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Then that's what me and Destin talked about. Bro, there's really nobody fucking talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Fucking pinch me. What the fuck is going on? Oh, okay. Nobody's talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, guess what, Destin? Why don't we be the ones? Because we've behind the scenes, we were talking about it like, yo, bro, that first trailer looked pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. And then once we started getting more TV spots and then that second trailer, it's like, yeah, bro, like we got to do this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's not just the fact that nobody else is doing it. It's the fucking fact that I'm a fan of this franchise. I love the first two movies.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Why not fucking stand out and fucking talk about it and share how I feel and share my knowledge, you know what I mean, about this franchise and stuff? Because when you do step outside of your norm, outside of your favorites, and you start talking about a whole nother movie and you actually like are good at breaking things down and talking about Easter eggs and homages, that intrigues the audience even more, especially new viewers, because they hear like, oh yeah, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He knows his
Right.
shit. You know what I mean? And stuff. Yeah, let me subscribe because he knows what he's doing and he knows what he's talking about. He knows how to layer things out and stuff like that. So it's always about adapting, man. That's just all it is, and giving the audience something fresh. And I'm not gonna lie, I am so happy with this I Know What You Did Last Summer content that I've been putting together because I'm not gonna lie, it feels like something fresh to my channel. I'm not even going to lie to you. It does. It
Mhm.
really, really does. And stuff like that. And I hope to keep doing more of that with some of these other movies that are going to be coming out, like The Strangers Chapter 2, like The Black Phone, maybe a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's, get into that a little bit
Mhm.
and stuff like broaden your horizons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I agree with that. And Stella G says, focus on the positive. Don't let anyone kill your spirit. That's great. That's great
Absolutely.
advice.
That part.
Uh Val says, not me, Ghosty. I'm petty.
Yeah, Val. Love you, Val.
I
Love you,
love you,
Val.
Val.
Well, I'll put it this way, Val. You could be petty for me then.
Yeah, man. I just think that, um as for me as a content creator, right? I I like to do this as a little like side like hobby that I like to enjoy and have fun with. I know you and Destin, do almost like the same thing, but it's more how do you say it? like professional or more
Wouldn't
serious
even
or?
say. I mean, wouldn't even say professional. Like, bro, I'm like you see my background. My background is like the least professional. You know what I mean? It's not even that. It's just like we take it a little bit more seriously. Like we want our channels to not just be our channels to get a lot of viewers and be a lot of subscribers and stuff like that. Sure, absolutely, we want that. We put in hard work when we do these videos and stuff like that. But it's also to create new opportunities, like I was telling you. You know what I mean? Because we could sit there and do a video, right? And let's say that video gets seen within the first 2 days by 20,000 people, right?
Right.
Well, one of those 20,000 people could subscribe, hit the social media links in the description of these videos, send a message on Instagram and say, hey, we're doing a project, a movie project. Would you guys like to be a part of it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Can we use you guys as like the horror commentators on YouTube that our characters watch? Well, fucking A.
Yeah.
It's opportunities. You know what I mean? It creates, you know what I mean? It's going to be our foot in the door to something even greater in regards to possibly providing other content as well for our audience. Like Destin's working on a script for his fan film in the movie he wants to do and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Maybe he might want me to play a specific role if he needs me to, or if he might wants me to help him with something else, no problem. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like this is going to be in regards to wanting to do more in this genre that we love. This is basically like the door opener and stuff like that. Because I'll be completely honest. You know what I mean? Would I love to sit there and be a part of a fan film and play a certain role, even if I get killed off quick and stuff like that, and share it with my audience? Yes. Why? Because it's fucking horror. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, that's what it's all about, is trying to do stuff differently and trying to do new things and stuff like that, and give the people, you know, not just, our favorites that we talk about, like Scream, Halloween, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Saw, and all that stuff, but also show that us as people, if we really wanted to and put our mind to it, if we have the passion to do it, we can create fucking projects on our own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how I look at it, man, and stuff. And it's YouTube. I always say this. Think about it. YouTube is a gateway in so many ways to bigger opportunities in whatever subgenre you want to do. It really
Right.
is. It really, really is, and stuff like that. And it's just a point too. I love being here and talking about this passion and this love. Like, I really do. Like, when I say that shit is not a bluff. Like, I really enjoy knowing the fact that there are so many people like me out here in this world who love this subgenre, who love horror movies, you know what I mean, who love, mass killers and, coming up with spooky stories and, shit like that. Like, I love that shit. You know what I mean? I love knowing that. And as long as I can do this, I want to be able to do what I can to make the audience happy and entertained. Because at the end of the day, this is still a form of entertainment as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. It is. And if I can, create new opportunities for myself and my friends to be able to provide that type of content and be able to provide new experiences and stuff, why the fuck not, man?
Right.
Like I said, broaden your horizon.
Yeah. Definitely. And King Matthew says he's about to leave the stream for the night. Have a good night, Dom and Marcus. You have a good night too, King Matthew. Have a great night.
Have a great night, Matthew. Thank you for supporting the channels as always, man. Get some good rest. We'll catch you later.
Yeah. Catch you later. And Val says good night to Matthew. Yeah, man. Um, but yeah, man, I love doing this, especially with you guys. You know, the making the content, um, being part of the community, engaging in the
Right.
community, and doing all the things that makes the community great. And I think that, you know, this is the place to be, man. Like it's an escape. It's like an escapism. You know, it's,
Right. And
you know.
that's what a lot of that's I've had a few people, you know, say that during live streams I've done even in the past and stuff like, and that's how I feel the same way when I got started, before I even had a channel. You know, this was an escape. You know what I mean? Talking about horror movies and, meeting new people and talking to new people, you know what I mean? And not just because we have this love of horror, but because we've had this special bond in regards to just caring for each other outside of the horror too and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So, like, man, I'm grateful, forever grateful that I did decide to enter this game of YouTube content creating. But I'm even more grateful that I get to share it with everybody that we share it with. Like, think about this. You know what I mean? Just like now, you know what I mean? We're just fucking hanging out, just really just spitballing, talking about whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you got to do that, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I love talking about my horror movies. I love doing my theories and my predictions and stuff. But sometimes it is cool, whether it's on my channel or on or on your channel, Dom, like we are now, or on Destin's channel. Sometimes it is cool to just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take a little bit of pressure off and just hang out and have a conversation and talk to everybody in the chat and just spitball about fucking whatever. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. That right there, in my opinion, is true engagement. You know what I mean? Because that's how you get to connect on a deeper level with your audience. You know what I mean? And stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes switch up the conversation, throw in the horror conversation there, because we are horror channels and film channels and stuff or whatnot, or whatever film, we end up discussing. But we also, can talk about other things too that are probably still a part of film, but that kind of peel the curtain back and, you know, go a little bit deeper. Kind of like how you was asking about actors who they get their, they get rocketed to the moon and then we see them fizzle out so fast, stuff of that nature, and just casual conversation.
Yeah, yeah, dude, definitely. Like, and that's what I like about like our channels is that we can do that. You know, we can have spend the time together and have a conversation about something. You know, and just take the heat, take not take the heat, but take the pressure off. Yeah, man, I agree,
Yeah.
man, definitely. Val says, "Oh my God, I just had an idea popped into my head that we all could be involved in. When it costs anything to make. Oh, we're going to have to talk." Yeah, Val. I
Well,
mean,
good. And I do want to plug this in here real quick. I was gonna reach out to you on Instagram about it, Val, but I might as well say it here while we're here together and stuff. And I'll probably still end up reaching out to you on Instagram about it anyway and stuff. But I've been putting some members only stuff together. I'm sure I don't know if you've gotten to see any of the posts and stuff like that. But towards the end of the month, I do want to put a members only game night together as well as a subscribers only game, game night. Did I say game month? I think I say game month. You know what I mean? That's what I think I said at first. So game night for members only and a game night for subscribers only and stuff like that. We're definitely going to talk more about it, Val, but I know you'll have some great ideas. But that is something I definitely want to do and stuff because, I'm grateful for my subscribers. I'm grateful for my members. And, I just want to be able to start pushing out more content for them as well because you guys, are kind enough to believe in me enough to buy into that. Like that's, that costs money. And I take that seriously. And that's something that for my channel, I'm definitely like trying to step up on is doing more members only content and try to find a balance between my regular content and stuff like that. And I think the perks I put together and stuff, I got to delete the $50 perk that I had from way back in the day and stuff like that. When you're deleting certain perks off YouTube and stuff like that, sometimes, like, if you had so many, like, you can only like delete a certain amount a night, and then you have to come back and delete it again, like delete the last one you might want to delete and stuff like that. That was the issue I was running into last night, because every time I tried to delete that last perk, it wouldn't let me. So I'm just like, okay, well, we'll try this another day and stuff like that. But basically, my memberships are going to be for $2.99 and $4.99 and stuff like that. And I've already got the list out. I got a screenshot of it. I got to post it on the community tab on YouTube and stuff like that. But I think I came up with some pretty good perks, for what people are buying into. And it's not like it's a little bit or whatever. Like, it's a couple good live streams and topic pickers, like votes. You guys get to vote on the movies and shit like that. Like, I don't have the list in front of my face, so I'm just gonna have to post it so you guys can all see. It's there though. Like, I finally got my memberships the way I want it to be. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like, in terms of perks, what I'm pushing out and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people are really going to like the game night. The game night scenarios that Val comes up with and that we're going to be putting together.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely excited for it, man. And yeah, man, I'm glad you're getting all that together. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
man. Let me tell you something. And this is what I'll say this to you, Dom. Out of me, you, and Destin, you have it the easiest with your channel because there's no pressure for you. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, you take it seriously, but it's more like you said, it's a hobby for you and stuff. Man, let me tell you something. That is a good kind of feeling to have, to kind of feel like it is a hobby. I feel like it's a hobby to me as well, but I am so dedicated to it and stuff like that that I take it so seriously, and I really want to be able to give people what the type of content that they want and stuff like that. So that shit comes with a lot of fucking pressure. You know what I mean? And stuff, trying to come up with ideas like, okay, what is my audience going to like? What are they not going to like? How are they going to react to this? How are they not going to react? Like, you know, it is not as easy as some may think to engage an audience. It really isn't. It's hard work. It really fucking is. I'm just grateful that the audience that I have enjoys the content that I put out and want to see more of it.
right, right. Yeah, definitely. And sorry, I'm trying to get to the comments as fast as I can. Um,
Okay.
sorry, because I know we're
No,
having
you're
a
good, buddy.
conversation,
Oh yeah, you're
and
good, Dom. Shit, you ain't got to explain nothing to me, bro. I'm kind of a pro at this shit too with the comments. It's hard to keep up.
yeah. Val says, I'll give you the idea and direct. You three gentlemen can write it. That sounds like a plan. It sounds like a
Yeah,
plan, Val.
definitely. You know what I mean and stuff. Yeah, let us know what you want us to do, Val, and we'll all three talk about it and see what we can come to, like, a conclusion in regards to, like, narrowing down the story, because that's one thing. I'll be completely honest, and I greatly appreciate, Val, you wanting us to, to write something that you would like to direct and stuff. I've always been one that has kind of been against multiple writers, because sometimes there's too many chefs in the fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But because we have such a tight bond, and we all three of us, me, you, and Destin Dom, I think we can definitely band together, narrow some things down, and be like, okay, so this is where we want to go. This is where we want to start. This is where we're trying to get it to go. And then hopefully this is where we can take it and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I think all three of us be able to pull that off. I
Yeah,
do.
definitely, definitely. Val also says, "I told you that many times, Ghosty. The best streams are just hanging out and talking about whatever." Yeah.
No, it is. Definitely is sometimes for the most part. It really is because there's no pressure. You're just spitballing and you're just having a conversation, and stuff like that. And sometimes these type of streams and these type of conversations are definitely needed. I agree with that, and stuff like because again, it's engagement and it's the type of engagement that gets your bond with your audience even tighter and stuff because yes, sure, we all love to talk about horror movies and stuff like that, but we also just like to talk to each other
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So doing streams like this is definitely warranted and needed, especially more often. Might fuck around and start doing this more on my channel too, like kind of just have like a once a month like subscribers only or whatever, just hang out and chill and just bullshit. You know what I mean? Just shoot the shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree with that, man. We can definitely do that. And Paula says, "What horror movie inspired you to love the horror genre?" Uh, do you want to go first, Marcus, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, that's easy for me. Halloween. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That fucking pale face son of a bitch and that slow walk and that meticulous, just that slow, methodical, just everything. It's just so eerie and just Dr. Loomis, don't get me fucking started. Y'all gonna get me started. You know what I mean? It's just those type of characters like Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode and that setting of Halloween night, the boogeyman. The boogeyman is coming and stuff like everything about that original movie. It just spoke to me in ways that still speaks to me in a way that no other horror movie can speak to me. Scream is close. I love Scream, but it still doesn't do for me what Halloween did, especially growing up. Like I was fortunate to live in a household and have a mother who loved these fucking scary bastards as well. So, and she loves Michael. Her new favorite is Art the Clown. But
Mm.
originally she loved Michael. She still loves him. She still loves, the old school and stuff. But back in the day, she was really on to the Michaels, the Jasons, and stuff like that, or whatnot. And just seeing that Halloween 78 movie, I think what really captivated me about it was the mask and the slow build and anticipation, the stalking. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm.
stalking. That right there, to me is even in real life, it's like one of the most scariest things that you could ever go through. Somebody's fucking watching you and you don't know who, but in this case, you don't just not know who, you don't know what it is. You know he comes into you as a form as a human, but he has this capability to be more than that. And that's what's fucking scary. That is the epitome, in my opinion, of the boogeyman. So for me, Halloween all the way.
Well, for me, it's easy. Is Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday?
There you go.
uh,
Bro, don't
it's
ever fucking be ashamed of that shit, man. Listen, man, you love what you love. You're inspired by what inspires you. You know what I mean? And stuff. There's plenty of people who actually appreciate and love Jason Goes to Hell. Just because it may not be my particular cup of tea and stuff doesn't mean that I don't see why certain people like it and may be inspired by it. It definitely was a different take on the Jason character, the Pamela Voorhees character, and somewhat of the franchise in general. At least I will say this about Jason Goes to Hell. They had the fucking balls to do something different, even if you didn't like it. They still had the balls to do something different. And
Mhm.
it's stuff like that that I wish a lot of these horror creators, and I know a lot of them can be handcuffed at times, but that's what I wish a lot of them had the balls to do. Get risky with it. It's either going to hit or it's going to bomb. But have no fear if it does bomb and if it doesn't do well, because then that gives you the experience to hone your craft and come back with something better.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that, man. Like, so don't ever be ashamed to say Jason Goes to Hell inspired you. That's a good thing. You want to know why? Because that's going to get even the new generation who hears you saying that interested in watching all of the Jason movies leading into that one and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like, that's what keeps these franchises going. There's always that one particular movie in a franchise that really captivated you and inspired you to love the genre. You know, if Halloween wasn't my favorite, let's say if Jason wasn't my favorite, if Jason was my favorite and Michael wasn't, the Friday the 13th movie that motivates me or inspires me to love horror movies would be Jason Lives.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like the original classic in order to be inspired to love horror. There's always those ones that just speak to you more than others. Jason Goes to Hell spoke to you in a way that some other horror movies didn't speak to you. And that's what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah, and for me, it is Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason, and the reason why is because it's the first Friday film I ever saw. Um, it's one of the very first ones, and I was so captivated by it. I was just like, wow, this is crazy, this is nuts, but I love it. And so it got me into the Friday franchise, and I watched the previous movies like Friday, like the final chapter, part
Yep.
3, part 6, Jason Lives. Jason Lives is actually my second favorite, so it's actually in my top
Nice.
three. So it's there, and then the final chapter is also in my top three. So it'll be Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Lives, and the final chapter.
Nice.
So, so I got into the movies after that, and if it wasn't for Jason Goes to Hell, I wouldn't even got into Jason and the Friday films and all that stuff, and horror in general, because that's what really captivated me and got me into the horror genre for sure.
Hell yeah, man. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Is what speaks to you, what captivates you, and that's the beautiful thing about this genre, and especially with these franchises that we have that are big, like Halloween, Scream, Jason, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is that there are a plethora of movies that we can choose from and decide which one really speaks to us the most.
Mhm.
That's the beautiful thing about it and stuff like that. Like I'll say this, because since we're talking about, excuse me, horror movies that inspire us and stuff like that, it is really disheartening when I see, like, and hey, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Everybody's allowed to feel how they want to feel. I will never knock on that. But I will say it is disheartening when I see some people like comment and be like, oh, I'm so tired, of seeing Sidney Prescott, basically live miraculously live after every Scream movie. It's gotten old and stuff like that. And I'm not saying you're wrong for feeling that way and stuff like that, but think about that character and that movie and that franchise in general that inspired other horror creators or horror fans and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it. You want to see something new, you want to see something fresh. But here's the thing about that, too, is when we do get something new and something fresh that is actually really fucking cool, you still don't like that shit neither. So it's like, what do you want? What do you want them to do? I see a lot of that. And if there was any faux pas I have about, certain horror fans, I wish that would you can't make anybody stop feeling the way they want to feel. But I just wish they would kind of open their eyes and see it from a different lens. Like, a lot of the stuff that you're getting tired of seeing inspired a lot of the new stuff that you're seeing as well,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So it's just like, I get it. You want to see something fresh, you want to see new characters and stuff like that. But again, even when you get that, sometimes you're still not satisfied. And it's just like, okay, well, what do you want these creators to do?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Because the thing is too, like I see people like you know it was a thing with Jason Goes to Hell. It was a thing with what was the other film in the franchise? It was I think it was Nightmare. No, was it Nightmare on Elm Street? I think it was Freddy's Dead. I think Freddy's Dead like gets a lot of hate because it was doing something like um a little different, you know, than the traditional, way of Freddy is, because at that time you gotta admit, like, the trajectory of Freddy was going in a direction where it was starting to get more goofy and different
oh,
and stuff like that.
absolutely.
And that was the normal way of going with it, and people didn't like it like that, and it's just,
Right.
but it's like, what do you expect? Like, they're gonna have to do something different some way or somehow and someday, you know? So it's like, what do you want? Tell us what you
Right.
want.
Exactly.
Right? And it's
No,
like,
you make a great point, and stuff like that. And one thing I will say in regards to like Halloween Ends, I did not like the way Michael was portrayed in that movie. When I think about my reaction to it in the live stream that I had did, and I think I even was so embarrassed by that live stream that I might have deleted it and stuff. But I was so embarrassed by my reaction after a while, because I felt my reaction was kind of setting a negative precedence, and I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? Even though my anger was real, it was very real.
mhm,
I had to take a step back and think, okay, well, especially if you're going to be doing this more on, a platform to where a lot of people possibly could see you and like your content and stuff like that. I don't want to create a negativity to where it's like, if I don't like something, I'm going to fucking snap out and rant and, you know, argue with people who might actually like it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I had to take a step back and rewatch the film a couple times and be like, okay, so I can see where some people will like this idea. It just wasn't for me in regards to my favorite horror movie character. You know what I mean? And stuff. I just didn't like the way he was portrayed in that movie.
mhm,
But that doesn't mean that you still can't like other facets of the movie and stuff like that. Like, I like Corey Cunningham's character. You know what I mean? Do I feel like he's somewhat misplaced? Yeah, sure, I do. It would, if it was my pick, it would have been Cameron Elam because of that connective tissue from the first two movies
mhm.
and stuff like that. But there are some people who really enjoyed it. And I guess where I'm trying to go with this is that whether we like it or whether we love it, positive feedback, even if it's critical, you can have critical feedback, but still be positive about it. And I feel like if you have that type of, mindset and stuff like that, then you won't get so angry when you see a movie do something with your favorite characters or favorite villain that you may not like. You can be critical of whatever, just kind of be more toned down and positive about it. And I feel like too many fans, when they really get upset, and this is speaking from somebody with experience who has done it before and stuff, we get so worked up to the point where you literally lash out at the community around you.
Yeah.
And then that can make people sour on you. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And that's what I'm like. definitely like tried like did ever since that stream, bro. I have tried to avoid me being like that ever again. So if I don't like something or if I don't agree with something, hey, it just wasn't my cup of tea. But if it was for you, cool, because guess what? That creates more opportunities for more ideas to get funneled through. So we keep getting these movies. And hopefully, one of those ideas that get put to the forefront, I might actually like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff. To me, I look at horror movies and movies in general. They're a gamble. It's a roll of the dice. It's either going to be a good movie or it's going to be a bad movie or it's going to be in between. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that's the type of mindset I'm trying to have going forward in regards to movies I don't particularly fuck with and stuff like that because I see too many and I don't like to see it because we are a community and we all share the same love and passion. I don't like seeing people in the community literally like yelling at each other and like threatening each other, over fucking movies and stuff
Right.
like that. It's just like damn, like it is a movie. Like I get it, you love it, but it's not that serious. And I had to teach myself that as well because I'm a passionate dude. If I love stuff or if I love something, I'm passionate about it. I'm enthralled with it, and I am super expressive sometimes about it and stuff. But sometimes you got to learn that sometimes you just got to learn to be more calm about the situation and just think about it with a more level head.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. Just keep a level head, and just be critical, but be reasonable. Just be
Yes,
reasonable
that part.
and critical, and just you can say what you don't like about the film, but you can also say what you do like about the film as well. And if you have those thoughts of like, oh, this is what I don't like, but this is what I do like, express that. Just express it, but express
Right.
it in a very reasonable way. So yeah,
Yes.
I agree 100% with you, Marcus, for sure. um we got Val in the chat saying Halloween for me as well, so she's agreeing with you, Marcus. It was a movie that
Yep.
reached in my soul and scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I heard people like got really scared, especially when it came out.
Well, you can see why. I will say this. I think what also helped add to that tone of the scariness, and maybe I would like to go back and hear it without the sound to make that, judgment. But I did hear without the sound in the original test screenings, fans were not impressed without the score. But that score, combined with everything that was so beautiful about that movie, it was a perfect fit. It was like it was meant to be. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like that score really encapsulates what you were feeling, especially when Michael was coming after you. That dun, 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 that's kind of like slow, methodic. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're fucking being chase. It's just slow, methodical, eerie, like all the fucking feels of being creeped out. Because I'm sorry, it's easy. I can understand if something just like, yes, that would like take you by surprise and kind of scare you. But to me, what's even more scary is you see something in front of you that you don't know what it is, and it's slowly, slowly coming towards you, and you're just so stuck because just like what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
who is that? And stuff like that. And Halloween always made me feel that way. Even to this day as an adult, like just watching those scenes, I'm just like, man, like that shit is just so fucking creepy. The boogeyman is real. I love it.
Yeah.
Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah. It Val says, I love you down for dying on that Jason Goes to Hell Hill. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for real, man. If that's what inspired you, that's what inspired you. There's nothing wrong with that. Shit, Destin's even open about how Nightmare on Elm Street 4 got him into horror and loving that franchise and stuff like that. And Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is, for the most part, not a popular sequel in the franchise.
Right.
Certain ones just speak to your soul, and that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And uh I think I lost the. Oh wow! I think it jumped on me.
It might have. It was doing that a lot to me earlier.
uh, I'm trying to go back up. Uh, what about Lola? I'm back. Oh, DJ said he's back. So he's
Nice,
back.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, wow, I'm really behind. No.
Hey man, we've just been having a conversation, and that's just how it is when you know you're just doing a live stream and just having a conversation. And it's not that you're not engaging with the audience and stuff like that, but it's just one of those streams where we're just chilling, hanging out, and talking about anything. And everybody's who's here, they're just kind of doing the same thing. They're just listening, chiming in here and there and stuff like that. Like, that's how it is. Like I said, no pressure. It's not like we're talking about theories and it's like, all right, I got to get to this comment. I got to get to this or whatever, because I don't want people thinking I'm skipping over them. And there's none of that. This is just one of those streams where we're just hanging out bullshitting.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, and Val agrees. She says, "That's what I love about this community. We all have different tastes in horror." That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's all about, and broaden your horizons, and stuff like that. Like, trust me, there's been movies that without y'all endorsing it and stuff like that, if I see it on a shelf, I'm just like, man, ain't nobody watching that shit. You know what I mean? I'll be completely honest. But because we have such a great community that is like, yo, broaden your horizons. Hey, I think this is a pretty good movie. I would like to hear what your thoughts on it. Can we watch it or whatever and stuff? Yeah, sure. And then it's like, oh shit, like how did I not see this? You know what I mean? It's just like the other night with a troll watching that movie someone is watching. Like, damn, how come I didn't watch this before? You know what I mean? That is a prime example. You know what I mean? And stuff. You got to broaden your horizons. You know what I mean? It's cool to have a favorite and to like what you like, but it is also cool to see the other aspects of horror that can be scary to someone else. Because then if you can understand why they think it's scary, then it will be scary to you as well. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
stuff like, and you might find enjoyment in that and stuff like that. Like, it's nothing wrong with stepping outside the box and stuff like that. Like, prime example, me, again, if it wasn't for Dom, I wouldn't really know much about these Godzilla movies or nothing, because I'd never really paid attention to them. You know what I mean? And stuff. But here, watching these watch parties with Dom here on his channel about those showdowns that Godzilla be having, I became a fan of Mothra. Now I want to watch more Mothra movies and even you know get me some Mothra merch and stuff like that. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this community, is that we all can help each other broaden our horizons and look at things differently in regards to film that we may have not looked at ourselves by ourselves and stuff like that. So that's why this community is so fun and it's so lit, man, because we all have our own flavor, our own variety that we like and stuff like that. And again, it's either you're going to like it or you're not going to like it. It's hit or miss. You know what I mean? That's just all it is.
Right. Right. And Paula says, Halloween opening credits. That score with the use of the pumpkins, intense, and you know what you're in for.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah. So
absolutely.
I'll tell you something about Halloween. Um, Everyone knows I'm a huge Jason head. I love Jason. I do put him over Michael, but um, I always say, and I always talk about how, like, I'll always watch Jason Goes to Hell over Halloween, or the final chapter over Halloween, and people, were just like, "Oh man, like you don't like Halloween, like this and that." And it was like, no, I do like Halloween. I like Halloween 2. I like
Right.
Halloween, the original Halloween 2, more than the original, but that's just me,
Right.
and I can see people who like the original more because it was more slow paced and it was more methodical, like you said, Marcus. Like, it's just, it has that tone to it that
Yep.
you're just like glued to the screen, and you're just like, oh my god, like, and it's scary, and it's intense, and it's just all of it's all combined together. And I can see that in people, and it inspires me and be like, man, maybe I should watch this more. maybe I
Yeah,
should. Maybe I should.
for sure, man. Yeah, for sure. Just because you might favor that's like me saying, you know, I put Michael over Jason or whatever, but just because of that fact, I don't like Jason. No, I can put Michael over Jason and still enjoy Jason. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. It's just Michael's my favorite. It's vice versa with you. You like Michael. It's just Jason is your go-to.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it is, in this genre and stuff. And in my opinion, that's kind of, and in so many ways, kind of how it should be. It's kind of like your favorite football team. You like other players from other teams, and you might even have respect and like for a different team. But on Sundays, you're going to root for the team that is your favorite.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And stuff
Yep.
like that. So that's just what it is, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And even Stella saying, like, it would be pretty boring if we all liked the same things and shared the same opinions. I mean,
It would
that's
be.
just true.
It really would be. And it's so funny because it's so funny you said that, Stella, because in so many ways, that's how I felt about once I came back. And yeah, we were doing these watch parties and stuff like that. But I'm talking about in regards to like my videos and theories and stuff like that. I felt like for a second there, up until I made this switch to decide, okay, I can still do my stream content, especially when it picks up. But right now, while it's kind of cold, I should be focusing on something else because I'm kind of sounding like everybody else. You know what I mean? And stuff. Yeah, I may have my tweaks, in regards to how I feel about a certain theory for Scream or this and this and this and that. But for the most part, because there are so many of us who cover Scream, I'm starting to sound like everybody else and stuff like that. And that's why I was just like, yeah, I got to make this switch to start focusing on these other movies as well as TV shows that I would like to get to as well and freshen it up and switch it up because being that repetitive and stuff like that, especially when you see that repetition on multiple channels, it does kind of get stale and it does kind of get boring and uninteresting and stuff because in so many ways when you go into the video or the stream, it's like, oh well, I kind of know where he's going to go with this. But if he's talking about Camp Crystal, if he's talking about Crystal Lake, or if he's talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer, I don't know where he's going to go with this because I've never really heard him speak about this. I've never really heard him talk about these particular movies or these particular characters or horror movie villains and stuff like that. So that's really interesting that you brought that up, Stella, because that's how I was feeling about my shit there for a little bit, in regards to my theory videos and stuff like that. And I was like, something's got to change. I have to do something a little bit different to freshen this shit up.
Yeah, and I think you did a really good job at that, man. You really are a pioneer. You and Destin are a pioneer in that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's why, like, especially with my I Know What You Did Last Summer videos, you guys can see there's like a couple days gap in between each one that has been released, is because I really, really took the time to sit there and really fucking scour those trailers. Like, it was literally hours just like this. Oh, like, all right, so I see this shit. All right, so this can be connected to here. All right, so I see this. Oh, yeah, that looks connected to that. Oh, yeah. You know, oh, shit, I didn't catch that last time. Write that down. You know, like, it was so, like, methodical and meticulous because when I did these videos, because my first video that I did, well, my first two videos that I did a couple months ago, when the first trailer came out, I'll be completely honest, they didn't do that good. They didn't, and stuff like that. So I said, okay, this time around it's going to be different. You know what I mean? I'm going to really take my time. And it's not that I didn't with the first trailer and stuff. I think what it was is that now we're about to, this movie's about to come out. So now the birds are chirping. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's, you know what I mean? We're all chirping and stuff about what's going to happen with this movie. The intrigue level is going up. So I said, okay, if I'm going to do these videos, if I'm going to break them down, you got to go all the fuck in. No stone left unturned. And just say what you feel based on what you're seeing in these particular scenes and stuff like that. And that's why I said in my trailer video that I did, what was it, last week or whatever, and stuff, I was like, you know, a lot of people are feeling like, you know, Stevie's character could be the killer based on the stuff that we see in this trailer and stuff. And hey, she might fuck around and turn out to be the killer. I mean, she might, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I kind of went the other way with that because I'm really sitting there looking at it and that particular scene, you know, I'm talking about and stuff that mimics the ending of the first one. And I'm like, what if that's what they want us to believe, that she's going to be the fucking killer, but she's actually the fucking final girl. She's actually the one we're going to follow going forward and stuff, because sometimes trailers do it and you'll figure out who the killer is in the trailer. They make it super obvious in the trailers and then in the movie too. But I just had this overwhelming feeling that this time around that wasn't going to be the case. And hey, I could turn out to be wrong, you know, but I just don't have that feeling. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a video about that because I think that's something that a lot of people should see and be refreshed. You know, I can't count how many people, you know, hit me up in the comment section and stuff and was like, hey, you know, great job, great theory and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I kind of forgot about the ending of the original kind of looking like that and stuff with, you know, the nightmare sequence, fucking fisherman busting through the glass and stuff. Like, as soon as when I saw that and I saw how it transitioned from Stevie to that, I'm just like, that's the ending of the first one. Oh shit. Does that mean she's, oh, okay. So everything that I did with these last three videos that I've dropped for I Know What You Did Last Summer, including the most recent one, the Ray one, very meticulous. I took my time. I didn't rush nothing. You know, I just wanted to be as spot on as I could possibly be in regards to extrapolating why I feel the way I feel with these theories and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, they're doing good. I've been getting some good results with them, but I'm more happy with the fact that we're all engaging and we're getting more people to engage in these conversations. You know what I mean? We're getting more newer subscribers. We're getting more people to join us in these conversations. And that's what it's about for me, you know, seeing that community growth and stuff like that. Like, I get excited when I see a subscriber uptick, not just, you know, for money or anything like that, just because I'm like, man, that's more people who's literally like liking talking about this stuff. That's what it's about to me. You know what I mean? I love doing that, man, because it's about growing the community and talking to people and having great conversations and sharing our thoughts and stuff like that about, it's the whodunit aspect. So I think this is what's going to happen with this. Well, I think this is what's going to happen with this. And it's just like, man, these conversations are cool. Like, these conversations are fun. Like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Like, I love it, man. It's an adrenaline rush for me. I don't know if you guys can tell just even by talking about it, but this shit, when I see everybody engaging in the chat and stuff, especially like over a theory or a topic that we're all like enthralled in and that we're all very, very invested in, just warms my little heart. Like, I'm telling you, it makes me feel good, man, because I love that. Because again, and I'm sure a lot of people felt like this, there was a time where I felt like if I were to express, only were a certain select few people I was able to express my love for horror movies and what I think would happen and extrapolate stuff. But for the most part, I always felt if I really like went hard the way I do now, here on YouTube and stuff, here around people who I know at home and stuff, I'd get looked at like a fucking weirdo and a possible serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, and shit like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, just the fact to know that, you know what, man, there is a lot of people out here like myself that I can share these views and share these opinions and, have this camaraderie and this conversation with, man, that shit feels good. You know what I mean? Because if I'm looked at as a fucking weirdo and a serial killer, well, guess what? Y'all all right there with me. We all in this together. We're all in this together. You know what I mean? So, hey, I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Like, I do. This is my jam.
Definitely. And even Val says, and you made the switch, and look how many new names have been in the chat lately. Go see, like, yeah, man. I
Right.
mean, that just shows like progression. The
Right.
trajectory is going
Exactly.
up. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's, and I even told Destin that that's going to be the direction, that I'm going to take. And, I told him, of course, you're my bro. You're going to do what you want, do what you feel, you know what I mean, is best for your channel and stuff. But I told him, because we both give advice to each other and stuff, like, I think this is the direction we should, be taking. Like, of course, we're going to do our Scream and our Halloween content and stuff like that. But let's also talk about other movies, even not just the ones that are about to come out. Let's pick a certain, like, I'll throw an example out there, like Night of the Demons franchise. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Or, fucking the Bloody Murder movies. Believe it or not, believe it or not, there are a lot of people who actually likes that cheesy ass fucking two movies because it's campy fun. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, yeah, bro, I think, this is the direction we should definitely be taking. We're going to do what we do with the Scream and the Halloween stuff. We're also going to do, stuff that, obviously the audience likes, especially with these watch parties, try to keep up with these as best as we can. But like in regards to like our video content, like our anywhere between 5 to, I want to say, depending on how fucking deep we get into this shit, are 5 to like 20 plus minute videos, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Let's take a different direction, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, because with the Scream, especially with the Scream content, it can get very convoluted and stuff like that. And there's so many content creators who talk about that, who talk about Scream and Scream 7 and stuff like that. And again, it's not going to stop me from doing my theories and sharing my thoughts and doing live streams on it. But there's going to be a pivot in regards to adding other horror movies and other horror movie franchises and stuff. Focusing a little bit more on Jason, especially with Crystal Lake coming out. Maybe, I want to say maybe, definitely doing some more Nightmare on Elm Street content and stuff, because hopefully the more Nightmare on Elm Street content that we put out that it's a little bit newer, maybe we might give it some good luck to make a comeback itself,
Right.
on the big screen and stuff like that. I'm a firm believer that if you talk something up, it can happen and it most likely will happen. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think, especially for Nightmare on Elm Street fans, we talk about this shit, let them know how we feel. You know what I mean? Somebody out there will hear and be like, you know what? Let's get a hold of the Craven estate. Let's end this bullshit. Let's get Freddy back on the big screen and stuff like that. So just trying to be different. You know what I mean? It's just like we say with our horror movies. We love the nostalgia. We love the normal stuff that we're used to seeing, but we also want you to get different. We also want you to provide something fresh and something new and stuff. So I'm definitely like riding that wave because I think it's going to be definitely beneficial and stuff like that in regards to growing the community and just having more diverse conversations too about different movies. It's not the same stuff all the time and
Right.
stuff like that. And I'm all about that, man, because I love horror movies in general. Just in general, I love scary shit, man. I do. I love blood and guts and intestines spewing all over the floor. I do. I got problems. I got problems, dumb.
We
I
got
got
problems
problems.
over there. Yeah, man. Suji, she also says when watching your videos, it's very obvious you put a lot of hard work into them. Yeah, dude, I agree, man. You put a lot of hard work into them, you and Destin, and the fact that you
Oh
guys,
yeah, try our
the
best.
yeah, man, and the fact that you guys like don't have 30K subscribers, man, is just you guys should be there, with the type of content you make, But hey, man, I don't know, which was I was trying to say is
I would say I agree with you on that.
uh
Oh,
oh,
we lagged a
I
little
think
bit. I think Dom froze. Dom, you still
can you
there?
see me? Yeah, can you hear me?
We're good now. That shit was. I'm gonna say, yeah. That shit was jumping for a second.
Oh shoot.
Can you hear and
Okay.
see me?
Yeah,
Can you? We good? All right, cool.
I think we're good. Yeah.
But no, it did start like lagging a little bit on my. It started lagging a little bit on my end, so I don't know if it was my connection or what. But we seem good now. But yeah, man, like we try our best to put as much love and soul into these videos as possible and stuff like that. And I personally, and that's why I do my videos the way I do, is because I feel like if I put a camera on for those videos, I'm gonna ramble like I ramble here. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. Everything is like meticulously and methodically placed. Like, okay, so this particular scene, this is what I see here. This particular scene is what I see here, so on and so forth, and stuff like that. And the hard work, it's definitely going to pay off, man. Sometimes, growth, especially on a platform like YouTube, like I appreciate the fact that you think we should have like 30K subscribers and all that stuff because that means a lot. You know what I mean? But what I've grown to learn here on YouTube is sometimes you will get to you could get to that point, but it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey and finding your way through the loopholes that is that YouTube algorithm, which means, and this is why they tell you in your studio what your video is ranked against, your competition, because that's how they see it and stuff like that. That's why it is good to see stuff like that because then it allows you to be like, okay, I need to adjust. I need to adjust because, yes, I'm getting some decent viewers, for this and this and that, but I'm also plateauing. So what can I do to not plateau? Oh, okay, switch things up and talk about fucking something different, you nitwit.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be completely honest. I've had my biggest subscriber uptick in a good while since we start doing the I Know What You Did Last Summer stuff or whatever. That tells me right there, okay, I need to start doing other stuff. I need to start doing other horror movies outside of the normal Halloween and Scream that are my favorites. I need to branch out and check out these other franchises so that when people see that, especially if they're fans of that franchise, they can look and be like, oh, well, we don't really see anybody else doing that, but he's doing that. So, yeah, let me subscribe to him and see what he's talking about and see, compare notes. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? That's just what it's all about, man. What I'm really learning about this platform, it's all about adjusting. And you have to be willing to adjust. You have to be willing to come out of your own comfort zone so that you can engage more to your audience. That's what I feel sometimes why certain YouTubers do plateau on their channel is because they're so fixated on one particular thing or one particular movie, one particular franchise, instead of broadening their horizons and be like, you know what? There's nothing really going on in my favorite franchise right now. So let me do something, different. Let me talk about this franchise and let me really go in depth with it. You know what I mean? And stuff like that to show the algorithm, but more importantly, the audience out there, oh, well, he's just not a Halloween guy. He has diversity. He talks about other stuff too. You know what I mean? And stuff like I feel like that's why a lot of YouTubers, even when they start off hot, they end up plateauing because there's no adjustment made. You know what I mean? You have to. This is one thing I learned about, especially in like film and watching television and stuff. And this is basically what we do here on YouTube. We're providing television related content. You have to be willing to adjust, not just with the times, but also with your audience. You have to be willing to adjust. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So if you have audience members saying, hey, I love the Scream content and stuff, but how about can we give you a suggestion? Why don't we talk about this too? You take that advice. You take that advice because that's your own audience telling you need to fucking adjust.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stuff. And that's just what it's all about, man. And hey, I'm all about the adjustment. I like it. You know what I mean? I like doing this, having diversity, man. It's so much more relaxing, if I'm being honest, and stuff like that. I don't feel no pressure. Like, I have a Scream 7 Theory thumbnail video whipped up, already made. Just got to put the video together. But because I'm so enthralled with doing other stuff, I'm not rushing myself to put that out there. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? It's cool being able to broaden horizons and do different stuff and talk about different movies and stuff like that, while also still being able to maintain time to not just, talk about theories and talk about movies that are coming out, but also revisit some movies that we haven't seen in a while or watch new ones here together.
Right. Definitely. And sorry, I had to get to the chat.
Oh, you're good.
DJ said, should Ari? I think he's talking about Ari Lehman, the first Jason in the original Friday film.
Yeah,
He said, should Ari be in the final movie of the franchise as
I think that's
playing as
Jason.
Jason? Um, y- I don't mind like seeing that. I just is he a stuntman? Because I think a lot of the Jason actors are like stuntmen, and they have to take a risk and do all these like stunts, as
Yeah.
Jason. So Artie Lehman, I don't know if he's also a stuntman as well as an actor. I don't know, but if he is also a stuntman, then yeah, I think it would be pretty perfect, and it will tie everything together like like a bow tie, on the franchise for a final film. But what are your thoughts on that, Marcus? Do you think Ira Lehman should be returning as Jason, and if so, like, should he do his own stunts or should he have a his own stuntman?
Uh, I mean, if he's not a stuntman, I think he would definitely need to get the proper training
Hmm.
because doing those action scenes and stuff, he's gonna have to be able to take the blows and stuff like that. Like I see stuntmen like I see wrestlers. You know what I mean? You're going to be taking bumps. You're going to be taking spills. You're going to be taking falls because shit's going to get physical. And you have to be trained properly in order for your body to be able to react correctly to it and stuff. So, I mean, if he does do stunt work, then yeah, I definitely would not mind seeing him be like the last Jason Voorhees or get his shot at playing Jason as an adult and stuff. But if he's not trained in that category, I personally wouldn't like to see that because, especially when he's not old, but he's I want to say what in his 40s and stuff.
I think he's in his 50s,
Well,
almost
he's in his
60s.
50s. Yeah, if he's not already trained at that shit, he might fuck up and break his body. You know what I mean? Like that shit, like is more physical and legit than I think people realize. Like and stuff. You got to really be trained to be able to take those type of blows, especially for a character like Jason, where there's going to be a lot of physicality.
Hmm.
I would like to think he would have to need the proper training, and it's not to say he can't take a few months and try to get that proper training. It's just different compared to somebody who's been fucking doing it for years,
Hmm.
because those guys know how to tolerate pain.
Right, definitely. Oh shoot, we got Destination Station, aka Destin, in the chat. Look at these fellas. What's up, hooligans? What is up, Destin? It's
Yo,
the
what up,
Dominic.
Destin? I hope you feeling better, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. I hope you feel better, and I hope if you're feeling better like now and stuff, that's great, man. Just let us know how you're feeling, man. And yeah, man. I hope you feel better for sure. It's good to see you. Everyone's saying hi to Destin. That's very sweet. It's very cool. And
Hell yeah.
we
Glad to see you, bro. I hope you're feeling better, man. Like that fucking feeling sick shit sucks.
hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. Whenever I feel sick, man, I just feel like I don't want to leave the bed. That's how I feel if I'm sick, dude. Like I just don't want. I don't want to leave the bed. I don't want to like eat anything. Like it's bad. It can get bad. Unfortunately, yeah. Um,
Hell yeah.
Stella says, I was checking out IMDb's release calendar, and there are so many horror movies coming out this year that no one is talking about. That's true, though. Like, there are like a lot of horror films coming out that even independent size that nobody's really talking about. Like, there was a film that we watched called Death Count that I didn't even know about, and nobody even know about. Destin didn't know about it. Marcus didn't know about it. Like, and we watched it, and we had a good time watching it. I'm like, wow, like that's just it just shows, man. Like there's a lot of movies out there that goes under the rug.
Hell yeah, man. There is. There definitely is. Like one in particular that me and Destin covered on his channel a couple years ago, Dark Harvest. Bro, like you talk about a fucking horror movie that deserves a lot more love and a lot more credit. That one was so fucking good. Like, so good. And they left room open for a sequel. So you make a great point, Stella. And you, shit. See, I think the thing is too, though, and I don't know, maybe if you have a paid account, maybe it gives you more of the facts. I know for a fact that sometimes IMDb, some of their listings can be false. And I'm not saying that, what you're saying in regards to the movies that are coming out are false. There's some of the shit that gets put on there sometimes doesn't turn out to be right, like casting for certain movies, stuff like that. But now I kind of want to go onto that site and check out these horror movies and see what, you know, twickles the twine, as they say. See, you know what I mean? See
Yeah.
which ones really pique my interest. That it's like, yeah, hey, this movie's coming out that I think we all might be interested in.
Hell yeah, man. I'm definitely interested to see what they got. On Wayans. And another. I know it's like a football horror movie or
Oh
something like that.
yes! Holy shit! Oh my gosh! That's right. Yo, yes. I got to write that down. Yes, I forgot about that one. I did. Yes, that is something I actually like. I've seen like certain little advertisements and stuff on it. I don't know how or why it slipped my mind. I guess because I got all this other stuff going on and stuff. But that is a movie I definitely want to see. Definitely, I'm interested to see what that's going to be about.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting, like football horror film, for sure. Uh, Destination Station. Destin says, "Thanks, bros. I just woke up and laying in the bed." Yeah, dude, that's what I do. I was just saying that too. I was just like, "Yeah, dude. Like, if I feel bad, like, I'll just be laying in the bed, dude, and not getting up." But yeah, man. But it seems like you're doing better. If you are doing better, um, I hope you are doing better, Destin. Sorry, Destin. I just uh just looking at the chat. He even says Dark Harvest hits hard.
It does, man. Like that shit is a great fucking horror movie. The cinematography is awesome. I'll put it this way. Have you seen Dark Harvest, Dom?
No, I haven't. So
I,
it's got to be
I
something
won't
on the watch
spoil
list.
nothing for you. But all right, you remember Halloween Resurrection, right?
Halloween Resurrection.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember the curly haired, brown haired dude, the one who was trying to get with the redhead?
Yeah.
Devil made me do it. I'm done. That dude.
Yeah.
He plays the sheriff in that movie.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. It's good, man. It's really, really good. Like, it kind of has, I will say this, it kind of has, like, I want to say, in regards to, like, and it is kind of like a creature, too, to a degree. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Pumpkinhead with the villain, with the character,
Mhm.
the killer and shit. But, bro, like, great twist, great everything. Like, the cinematography. What I love about that movie is there's this one shot where basically a bunch of fucking mofos get got at one time, but you don't see the killing itself. All you see is the blood spatter aftermath of it. And the way it come, like the blood spatter fucking spews out is so fucking like, it's slow motion and it's like euphoric in a way. Like just, it's fantastic. Like the cinematography that they did with that movie was awesome. Like, definitely an underrated horror classic, in my opinion. That should definitely get more praise. And since we're talking about it, I might fuck around and have to do like a review because I think it's coming up on 2 years. I want to say in
Mhm.
October. I'm pretty sure it was released in October of 23. So it's coming up on 2 years. So I might have to pull that one out of my back pocket because that is definitely a banger. Me and Destin watched that shit. I want to say it was like one of our 2 o'clock in the morning live watch parties, something like that. It was a late
Yeah,
one for sure. And banger, bro. Banger.
definitely gotta check it out then because I hear a lot of good things about it, and I know Destin talked about it a lot, and now you're talking about it. Oh man, shoot, yeah, I gotta watch it.
Great. It's great, bro. It's great. You would love it, I think. I think you would
Yeah,
really, really love it. It's great.
yeah. Everyone's introducing each other. Uh, Kyle's back in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Uh, so yeah, we're coming up at 3 hours, 34 minutes. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that
man.
just
Yeah,
happened.
we've been fucking flowing this whole time.
We've been
Hell yeah. It's
flowing,
already
man.
almost 1:30 on my end.
Yeah, man. I yeah, man. We got 8 people in the chat too watching, and we got comments flowing as well. Um, DJ's heading out. He says night, y'all. Um, yeah, man. It was always a good time talking with you, Marcus, and also with Dustin as well. Whenever he comes on, just getting together and hanging out and just doing stuff like this is just it makes my day. It
Yeah,
really
man.
makes my
You know what
day.
I mean? Sometimes, like I said, it's just good to kind of just decompress. There's no pressure. Let's just, you know, we'll mix in, some horror topics and talk about certain things and stuff, but just have a casual conversation, man. No pressure. Just hang out, you know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Hell yeah, man. So yeah, just let me know, man. Like whenever you wanna like you know hang the what do you call it? Hang the coat or something like that on the stream, man. Just let me know. Uh,
Yeah.
just let me
Well,
know.
I don't know what you're doing tomorrow if you have anything planned because in about 13 hours exactly, I'm going to be going live and I hope Destin can make it. I hope Destin feels better and stuff like that because I'm going to be doing the I Know What You Did Last Summer movie marathon tomorrow, like the first three films. So we gonna be basically live in this mofo for probably like over 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Hell
And
yeah.
stuff, but it is what it is. I'm glad, because that was a reward for hitting a super chat goal. But I'm excited to do it because we are about to hit that sequel's coming out next week. So this is the perfect timing to really go back and revisit the first two movies, really. But we're going to watch the third one too, because there's some people that haven't seen the third one just because Jennifer Love and Freddie wasn't in it and it went straight
Right.
to DVD. And who knows? I'll be the first to say it. I'm not a big fan of the third one, but some people might fuck around and like it. You just never know and stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about doing these live watch parties and stuff like that is that, we might introduce each other to a movie that one may not care for, but you might actually enjoy. You know what I mean? And stuff.
Yeah.
So this is definitely going to be a fun time tomorrow, especially with the first two movies, though. Especially with the first two movies, because there's so much connective tissue that it's looking like anyway for this new reboot. It's going to feature a lot of stuff from the original and some stuff from the second one. So
Yeah.
definitely a perfect time to do this movie marathon. I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So, since that's gonna be happening pretty soon, you say like 13 hours. Um, I'll go ahead and if you want, we can end the stream now. So we
Yeah,
can
we can wrap it up and stuff. But just let me
yeah.
know what's good for you tomorrow and stuff,
Hmm.
and if you can come on. Even if you can't make it to like the first one or whatever, if you can catch the second and the third, or if you can just even catch one of them, let me know, man. And you already
Yeah.
know. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely down to do it, man, for sure. Just yeah, send me the link. I'll show up as always.
Sounds good.
So yeah. So everyone, it's going about past 3 hours now. We definitely had a good time chatting it up. Having a good time with the people in the chat as well. Um, Thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you, Marcus, for taking your time out of your day, stop by and chill and hang out on the live stream. And yeah, man, it's been great. And yeah, even
Hell
Val
yeah.
says you had a great time tonight. Yep, I definitely agree. I
Awesome.
definitely agree. And so yeah, thank you, Destin. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Flat, DJ, Stella, everyone else that has come by. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, Tuesday we're gonna do the next Godzilla watch party, and that's gonna be fun. And I'm
Yep.
gonna have to set the schedule up for that. But stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys on the next one, which is gonna be on Marcus's channel for the I Know What You Did Last Summer marathon. So thank you everyone
Yep.
for watching, and we'll see you next time. And I'll see you backstage, Marcus. See you
All
next
right, buddy.
time, everyone. Thank
Have
you.
a
Bye
great night,
bye,
everybody.
and see you later. Peace out.